All right, hi. It's that time of the day, oh my gosh, it's going to be a great podcast. All right, so you notice we got someone extra with us. We were trying to get Tommy in on this podcast for a long, long time, and it finally worked out. Got some stuff he wants to talk about. So, we're going to start with how our weeks were, and since Tommy, you're technically the new kid on the block around here, you could go first. How was your past 2.5 weeks, I guess?
Well, Brock, it's been something else. It's been a nice, crazy trying to get back to the swing of things with writing, with film review, with reviewing as a whole, trying to play catch up the best that I can, and seeing some of 2024's really good movies, and at the same time, promoting the power behind the theatrical experience, while also emphasizing, really showcasing to guests just how special such a movie-going experience is, no matter the type of movie they go to see, the type of theater they experience the movie, and realizing just how special of an individual they feel when they realize something truly spectacular.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So yeah, short and sweet, but
hey, it works.
Absolutely.
Kiona, how about you?
Oh, so it's been a lot of gaming and a lot of physical, rehab kind of stuff, exercises, that sort of thing for my leg, and just like a lot of like being a co-host on streams and stuff like that, and just kind of doing all that stuff. I'm very tired, but I'm okay.
It is all good.
My heart's be pumping right now, but I'm okay.
Absolutely.
My old friend Casey used to say, "My dogs are barking, Brock. My dogs are barking."
So if I lose my voice halfway through this podcast, we all know why.
It is all good. Mike, how about you?
Yeah, this week has been pretty busy. Like what we're recording tonight is the third of 4 podcasts in a row that I've been doing. Started the weekend with a Metallica podcast. Nick and I covered.
That's out now.
Yep, that's out right now. You can.
It is up right now. It's on the Twitter. It's on the website.
Check Shameless promotion.
Shameless promo.
So we covered pretty much all of Metallica's history, because tonight is the 20th anniversary of their documentary, Some Kind of Monster. Then for animation, which will be dropping later next week, Cameron and I did Despicable Me 4 and The Imaginary, now on Netflix. Go watch it right now.
Nice.
And then tomorrow, Tommy and I and a couple other guests have a very interesting discussion about film discourse and how that's changed since like we jumped in.
And boy, has it changed.
Oh,
boy, howdy.
You have no idea.
Social media was the worst thing to happen to everything. All right, Bree, how about you?
So I've been vibing. So yeah, I've been vibing. I spent the last week in Long Island. Went to the beach, swam in the bay. Went to some cool shops. Was able to pick up some sound design stuff. I also ordered a couple of new microphones. This little guy came today. It is a waterproof contact mic, so I can make my fun sounds or slowly teach myself how to make music on a synthesizer by making my own sample library. Whatever comes first. I have no music theory, so it will be an interesting experience, and I am embracing Brat summer, and you know what, this bit is over. I am taking off these sunglasses.
I was wondering how long that was going to take.
No.
All right. As far as like weeks go, I just had a week off of work, which was really nice. I had a buddy of mine, Omar from Canada, visiting, so that was a fun time. Got to show him some real American patriotism. Did some hiking.
That's cool.
Ate out a lot, like a lot. And watched Inside Out 2. That was pretty good.
Oh, nice.
Wanted him to be here for when Wolverine came out, but it just couldn't swing it the way we wanted to. Finished playing and platinuming Stellar Blade. That game is fantastic and probably will be my game of the year until Black Myth Wukong comes out.
Nice. Excellent.
That, or I'll be honest, Life is Strange Double Exposure, because I unreasonably excited about that freaking game.
Is that out this year?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. That latter half of this year is stacked.
So stacked, man. Crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting Game Awards. That's all I got to say.
It always is, though, isn't it?
Oh, it always is. All right, so we're gonna do, Tommy. This is a new thing since the last time we were on the podcast, and and we were just extremely Bostonian the last time that you were here. The podcast was a ton of fun. Oh, yes. All right, so basically, there's a section here that's, I don't know if you ever watched AMC Movie Talk. He blatantly stole this, and then I'm stealing it from them. It's just buy or sell. Just gonna mention something, and then I'll go around with everyone. Buy or sell it, small explanation of why. That's pretty much it. All right. I did not get a chance to watch it because I completely blanked out till now, but I guess, Tommy, I'll go to you first. Buy or sell the F1 trailer?
Well, to be fair, before I answer the question, it was Around the Horn that did it first. And
that's what I mean. That when I said he stole it, so I'm stealing it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Shut up and take my money. This is a huge buy. When movies like this, regardless of how the final product turns out at the end of the day, number one, when you see an advanced teaser poster of this magnitude, accompanied by a trailer, let alone of this magnitude, because typically you only get like small announcement teases this far out in advance, that is when you know you are going to be a part of something truly special, regardless of how the final product turns out. Seeing this trailer, especially if one doesn't need to be an enthusiast of Formula One itself to understand from the beginning voiceover, talking about the teams in the Formula One paddock, and then talking about then seeing Brad Pitt sitting at that table talking like how it needs to be, how what they need to do to get back up in the Constructors' Championship, and seeing like the fun those shots. Holy, I'm just seeing that, like just like a page out of Top Gun Maverick, and then seeing like the shots of Gunther Steiner and the entire that shot during that shot of all the drivers, and then seeing the on track action. The only two concerns that I have are rules and regulations, because that one moment where Brad Pitt's car was off track for a bit. My concern is, I just think about the final product. I'm sorry, what?
Are they going to play fast and loose with stuff? Is that what you're wondering?
Well, my concern is thinking of the F1 rulebook. I'm curious to see how that scene will play out, because he was exceeding track limits in that moment. So, which is a time penalty, pending the circumstance of how the track limits are exceeded. But when you look at that, and then you look at other moments, like, such as, for example, Gunther Steiner leaning his head out, who was the now former team principal of MoneyGram Haas F1, which is the lone American team in the Formula One paddock. You think about things like that, and while you also think about the moments that are shown, that will be in the movie, that will be obsolete by the time the movie is released, such as Lewis Hamilton still racing for Mercedes, when by that time he'll be on Scuderia Ferrari next season, and while it's not as, I don't anticipate it being like too distractibly noticeable as it was in the movie Driven that came out in 2001 in regards to the FedEx Kart Championship Series at the time. I just think that it'll all depend on how the final product turns out. But I don't anticipate it. If the trend continues, I don't anticipate it being too distracting of the sense when one really puts into their mindset how this world is. And listening to Jerry Bruckheimer talk about this movie, and it just further elevated my anticipation during the Young Woman in the Sea press junket. I just don't know how anybody, regardless of how the final product turns out, I don't know how anybody can elevate their anticipation level that much higher. So big buy.
Absolutely. Mike, how about you?
Yeah, this is a big buy. I'm not really the biggest fan of the poster though. Just the I think they could have improved a few things, but as far as the trailer goes, the fact that they released this a year before the film's release shows that both Apple and Warner Brothers have a lot of faith in this. And also, just going back to my general point about Apple's theatrical investment, they're doing a whole lot more for like theatrical exhibition than any other streamer, even like Amazon. It's just great how much they are taking this all seriously.
Quality over quantity.
Absolutely.
Indeed. Too bad about Argyle though. But
well, they can't all be winners.
Yes. Bree, how about you?
First of all, buy and sell. Let me just explain.
Oh boy.
Okay, so buy because it looks bonkers, but sell because it's just the irony. Because this and Tron 3 are supposed to come out next year, and Joseph wanted to direct a Tron sequel, and I will fucking defend Legacy till the day I die. And the fact that we have a Jared Leto fucking Tron movie will just piss me off to the end of time.
I'll defend Olivia Munn in that leather on that couch till the day I die.
Oh no, yeah, no, it's like 10 out of 10. No notes.
Oh god.
I actually think I have one of the Disney Infinity figures of her because that's something that I totally would have done.
All right, Kiona, how about you?
I'll say buy objectively. I don't think I'm the target audience for this movie because every single movie that I watch that's revolving around racing, like Gran Turismo and everything, I just kind of fall asleep. So I don't think I'm the target audience for this one.
Gotcha.
Personally, maybe a sell, but I'll okay. It's maybe that, but I'll also watch it because it does look like it's quite well done. So
yeah, we watched F1.
I like your passion for it, Tommy. I like your passion.
Absolutely. My buddy who was here, Omar, was filling me in on F1 because I'm not a huge F1 person.
Yeah, I don't know anything about
Verstappen's name more times than I know how to count. But I was just like, I'm happy for the people that are into it because this looks like it'll be awesome. Mm-hmm. And just for the little bit that Tommy said, I was like, holy crap, it seems like this could be really good. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll say this, Kiona.
Yeah.
Like that shot, like, you know, like when with the camera and being in that angle, like right above yes. Like
I love that perspective shot. Yeah.
That perspective shot, I cannot wait to watch that moment on an IMAX screen. I am so looking forward to seeing that. That's going to look so beautiful. So beautiful, so absolutely fantastic. And seeing Hans Zimmer, you know, do the score, you know, because he did Days of Thunder as well, and
that's right. He did do Days of Thunder.
That score alone, you know, I mean, obviously it was like one can emphasize and really see how it was targeted to the stock car audience and the stock car demographic. But you know, it really elevates and really showcases that excitement. And, you know, these really are the best automobile racers in the world today. You know, Max Verstappen is has really come into his own, and as emotional as Sir Lewis Hamilton's victory was yesterday, like that was, because it was his era. Now we're in the Max Verstappen era. Oracle Red Bull Racing is one of the best teams in all of professional sports today. With Max being the athlete and his team principal, Christian Horner, like that's one of the best driver head coach combinations in all of sports today. The perfect winning combination. And even though they've had a couple bad weeks with Lando Norris, and now Mercedes Petronas coming back to the fray because George won the previous race and now Sir Lewis has won on his home soil. It's an incredible time. It makes you wonder if something could change now as a result of how the latter half of the season's trajectory. But with what Mike said real quick about the poster, like that's a teaser poster. It's a wonderful teaser poster. I can see where you're coming from, like from an essence of, like having a silhouette shot, like a silhouette shot of like an aerial shot of a sunrise, like Brad Pitt's back to the camera, like seeing like of say it's Silverstone, for example. I'm just throwing a random track out there where they were yesterday. Like having that shot of like him standing at the start finish line, it's like say Brad Pitt, F1, summer 2025, film for IMAX, something like that. But I can see like from that selling point, that type of anticipation, like from more of an artsier standpoint, I can see exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah, what you described sounds better than what we got.
Yeah. All right. So, moving on. I'll start with Kiona. Buy or sell the fact that Hellboy existed without Guillermo del Toro at some point, and they are trying to do that.
Okay,
Did you watch that Crooked Man trailer?
Yeah.
Listen. We can all agree that Mike Mignola is the creator of Hellboy. Okay, he's the creator. He's the genius artist. He's the guy. Now, here's the thing, though. When we've had big screen adaptations by Guillermo del Toro, when we've had big screen adaptations with Ron Perlman in the title role, with why am I blanking on his name right now? Stranger Things guy. I'm sorry.
David Harbour.
Yeah.
David Harbour. Thank you. With David Harbour playing the character. Now, I did not see that one because I heard not so great things about it. But no, I mean, you're kind of right about that, Umbreon. I think that like the way this movie, though, even if it has Mike Mignola's seal of approval or whatever, or he's funding it or whatever, it just looks bad. It looks so bad. I'm big time sell. Not gonna go watch it. Don't care. I'm sorry to say. Even though, like, in terms of the story, it might be a closer storyline to, like, the way that he's portrayed in the comics and stuff, because I know Del Toro put a lot of his own imprint on those two movies that we saw by him. I just think that those are kind of the big screen versions of Hellboy that I always look to, or that always come to mind when I think of, like, a Hellboy movie. So, yeah, this is a big-time sell for me. I can't abide this crap. Come on! You can get cosplayers to do a better job than this.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Free, buy or sell.
First of all, so like not even getting into the whole AI concept or allegations or like the other bullshit like behind the scenes, like everything about this just screams like amateur. Like I've legit seen YouTube fan films with like better production values, because I'm assuming this movie cost at least $20 million. It does not look like it cost. Oh no. No, the poor college students. But yeah, this movie just does not look good.
You are right, Crafty. Take it from a cosplayer. You are right, Crafty.
No, I'm just saying, I've legit seen like cosplayers and like fan films that have way better production value and like effort put into this. This just looks bad.
Mike.
Huge sell, but not because it's not Guillermo del Toro. Although, yeah, as not accurate to the comics as the first two Hellboy movies are, at least what Del Toro added to those was his own his own sensibilities, his own like fantastical elements. And if you're not going to do that, then how about make an animated film with Mike Mignola's art? Do
exactly.
do what they did for like Atlantis: The Lost Empire. That's like very inspired by Mignola's art style.
Or better yet, do like a Spider-Verse style like Hellboy.
Yes.
Yeah, because here's the thing too, Mike. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but just really quickly, I just want to say that it's not that it's not Del Toro. It's just that it's like there's so many other filmmakers that you could get that would do a more competent version of Hellboy than this. Like even the one with David Harbour is more competent than this, honestly. Okay.
But yeah, I actually did.
You would die, Umbreon. You would die. I agree with them 95% of the time, but Umbreon, you'd be dead.
That's a last man standing match. My God.
I actually did watch the David Harbour version. It's fine. Harbour's great. But
yeah, the issue was he looked good as Hellboy. Like that was not the issue with that movie.
It was everything around him that didn't work. And not even Ian McShane could save that movie, which is the problem.
Yeah.
I'll let Tommy go last. So, like, as far as how this goes, I don't hate them making a borderlining horror film for Hellboy. That I don't mind, and I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah,
as much as it may not look like whatever, this is probably the only budget they were afforded to make for this film. And I want to know, when on God's green earth did this get put into existence? Because I didn't hear about it till the trailer came out.
Same. I thought it was fake. I thought it was a fan film.
I thought it was a new trailer for a new Hellboy game because I thought it was that one that hasn't come out yet and that funky weird-ass...
Dude, that Hellboy
got announced
game...
at the Game Awards.
Yeah, that Hellboy game, that actually looks like sort of like what you were saying, Mike, of like an animated version of like Hellboy and stuff. Like they could do something with that. They've done animated films before, so
yeah, two direct-to-video animated films.
Yes. All right. I'll be interested to see what the heck it is. It's one of those things where we've seen how you have to be very choosy with these to make the money back, and I'll at least see what the crap happens. I'm going to wait to see what the reception is, and if it's above a C+, I might think of watching it. So we'll see. I don't know.
It's a high bar, I think.
It's just so interesting to me that this close to the Harbour movie, another one's being made. Yeah. I wasn't seeing people chomping. I mean, I do not hate the concept of Hellboy. Do not get me wrong when I say this. I just didn't see people chomping at the bit for a third interpretation of Hellboy. But Tommy, go ahead.
It could be so cool, but
yeah.
Well, that's the thing, I like from an optimistic standpoint, like one can't buy it, but at the same time they can't like go sell it either. You think maybe it could surprise us all. That said, if what you're saying is true about AI and that involvement in the production, then it's a hard sell because it goes completely against everything that we fought for last year, and there's just no way in good conscience unless somebody showcases like the specific type of mannerisms in which it was used, such as when we brought up Argyle earlier and how that movie bastardized the last song that will ever be recorded by the Beatles. And Sir Paul McCartney was talking about how technology, and he said he mentioned AI, but he talked about how he was focusing on the technology to raise the volume in John's voice. And he backtracked saying it wasn't AI, it was just the technology specifically. But the moment when you use AI in that particular mannerism, it's just an accident waiting to happen. So maybe
I posted an article to it.
Okay, cool, fantastic. I will take a look into that earlier. But yeah, maybe. But yeah, from a story standpoint, it could surprise us all. But I just don't know how anybody can support AI after everything we went through last year.
Yeah, that is true. All right, going on to something that people asked for just as much. So the Agatha All Along trailer came out. I honestly, I'll go first on this. I did not know what in the actual honest to God to expect from this, but Aubrey Plaza was in it, which made me excited. And I watched the trailer. It shockingly looks fun as shit.
I mean, Patty LuPone's in it, so I'm like, I was already sold. I was there.
But I buy it because they look like they have some mild exorcism shit going on in the middle of this. So it could be freaky as hell because it looks creepy. And Aubrey Plaza being the like kind of snooty bitch witch that has to get Agatha back into kicks for Halloween. I don't say no to Aubrey Plaza all that often. Gonna be real honest with you. So I buy it. Mike, how are you?
Yeah, that scene from Legion still lives rent free in my head.
Yeah. I buy this.
Yes.
I jokingly called this on Twitter Marvel's "We Have the Craft at Home." That's not an insult. I say that with love.
Yikes!
Nice. I like The Craft, by the way.
It is.
But like seriously, I'm also a little bit hesitant because Echo had a pretty great trailer, and then Echo became Echo. But at least this is being released weekly, so Marvel must have some sort of faith in this. Also, it's the first series that they have the new Marvel Television logo.
Yes.
Interesting. Yes.
Yes. Kiana.
Cautiously optimistic buy on this. It looks like the closest thing that we're probably going to get to a WandaVision season 1.5 or whatever you want to call it. Just because they're kind of holding on to that premise a little bit, which I'm both like intrigued by and also a little bit afraid of because I don't know where they're going with it necessarily. But the trailer itself, though, it held my interest. I will say that it looks a little bit like it could go off the rails, maybe. But just I mean, personally speaking, that's what I'm seeing in it. But anyway, it's fine. It looks good, and I'll give it a shot. And yeah, I mean, other than the WandaVision references, Umbreon, I think, I think it's its own little, it's its own show. So that's kind of good that it's standing on its own. And I like the whole like Halloween sort of witch's brew sort of vibe that it's given off. So yeah, I mean, I'll say that I'm interested. I'll give it a watch. To be sure.
I think that I'm optimistic about it. So I'm leaning very ever so slightly toward buy. It's just give it that unique presence, and it's something new, something semi-fresh to Marvel at that point. And we'll see what happens from here on in. But yeah, very unique, a very intriguing trailer.
All right. Yes.
Looking forward to seeing what happens next.
Bree.
You know that meme of like the lady on the phone? I think it's from Real Housewives of "I'm gonna give the gays everything they want." This is that show. I mean, let's see. You got Patty LuPone, you got Aubrey, Plaza, Agatha. You have all that, but honestly, I'm kind of glad that they're doing more disconnected stuff from the MCU and that we're, slowly getting out of this "it's all connected" era, because it's honestly kind of a lot. And I think, Marvel just needs to go back to making shows and less things that are like, yeah, they can be connected to the MCU, but also like not really.
All right. Yeah. That.
One more thing that I want to bring up. Do you guys think that there is a possibility that maybe Aubrey Plaza might be playing Shadow King still?
Oh, that'd be great if she was.
Possibly.
Never say never.
And Agatha Harkness does have a history in the comics with the Fantastic Four, so maybe a little.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe.
We'll have to see.
Yeah. You know what they should do? They should just have her time travel to like the 60s, just to really fuck with everyone and have it be the Fantastic Four origin.
Yeah.
Well, she would have to time travel and then go to a different planet, because they've openly said that the Fantastic Four aren't on this Earth.
I know, but it would be great just to like fuck with people.
I honestly think you're gonna, if you see a snippet of the Fantastic Four at all, it's going to be in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Probably.
Like you're just going to see a back, and they're going to say, "What the fuck is this place? You aren't supposed to be here yet."
That, because that's
and then they just walk away.
I love Umbreon's comment, by the way. Aubrey Plaza is obviously playing Mephisto. Yes, you
I want it to happen. I want it to happen.
The fucking Mephisto memes. Oh my god.
What was that, Tommy?
No, I was saying that would be the perfect segue, because they've got the social embargo. They've got the social embargo and then the review embargo a few days prior. Like, it's showcasing a bit of trust to where, like, no spoilers or anything like that, to like really see if something really special could come from this, in the vein of the next phase of Avengers movies. To see, anything's possible, but we'll see what happens.
I think this is going to be dumb, because Patty LuPone doesn't give a shit about anyone or anything. She said, "Oh, there's going to be musical numbers," so I'm assuming the Lopez's are probably back to write songs used for this. So this is just going to be like a dumb, stupid show. All here for it.
Marvel's Halloween show this year.
Yeah,
I'm cool with that.
I'm excited with them having. All right.
Yes,
This doesn't apply to everyone, so I'm pretty much just going to ask Kiona and maybe Bree about this. Tommy, I don't know if you're much of a gamer.
Well, what game are we referring to? It's
not exactly a game. It's just that kind of seeing how things are changing. Also, if you want to buy or sell the fact that PlayStation will have an exhibit at the Tokyo 2024 game show, a general exhibitor for the first time since 2019. 2019 is when Jim Ryan became CEO. And 2024 is when he stepped down. So now that he's gone, for the first time since he stepped up, they are going again.
So is this the result of Sony, maybe the Japanese contingent, the Japanese arm of Sony sort of taking over, or maybe having a little more say in terms of how they exhibit their wares, so to speak?
I'm not exactly sure, but I will say that Jim was very much he was very weird with sticklering about certain stuff, like, get everything that used to exist, only move forward, and we're only doing certain things. And like, now that he's just gone, and it's Herman and I can't think of the other guy's name.
That's Herman Holst and
it's Herman Holst.
Crap. What is his name? What is his name? I love this guy's name. Okay, wait. Damn it.
Studios. Studio business side, and
it's like
his last name's Hideaki Nishino.
Or Hideaki Nishino? Okay.
Yes,
okay.
But
anyway, so this is the thing. I think first of all, me being a big fan of Japanese developed games to begin with, because that was my era when I was born. It's just like, I think it's really cool that they're going back to TGS. I think that it's sort of where they belong. Like, Nintendo used to have their own show back in the day in Japan and stuff, and now they just do directs and everything. But it's like, I don't know, they'll probably have a little bit of a presence there, but it's good for Sony to get out there to interact with the public and people that are playing the games. And hopefully, even though it's in Tokyo, that's always been one of my dreams, honestly, is to go to Tokyo Game Show, just because it's so, like, just the things I used to read in magazines and whatnot are just crazy about it. So, like, I'm for it. I'm a total buy when it comes to this. Yeah, this is good news.
Bree?
Hopefully we'll get some news.
I mean, I like that PlayStation's kind of going back to their roots a little bit. And, I mean, honestly, since game shows are slowly becoming, like, a rare species, I mean, anytime, like, a major player like Sony participates is, like, a good thing. I mean, I love directs and being able to watch them from home, but there's still something about being in a room with a bunch of people and having news about gaming and showing your love of gaming.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tommy or Mike, anything?
Just echoing what they said. It's good. It's good that PlayStation's going back to a more public place to show off their stuff. I think that's actually really cool.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know Japanese, but I will just watch like Max if he's doing like a co-stream of the TGS stuff and just watching it and just being like, okay, what can we glean out of any of this, and maybe we can get like somebody that can translate or something, and that's always fun to watch. Anyway,
Yes.
Sorry, Tommy.
No, I was just gonna say the late great Henry Ford was famous for saying you can have any color you want as long as it's black. With
That's true.
in this case, from a technological standpoint, like as we celebrated 4th of July this past weekend, always buy American unless it's made in Japan. That's what I can say.
I like that. All right. This one is specifically for Kiona that I had to put this in here to possibly get him excited. The newest issue of Deadpool, when I put this in the doc, I don't remember when, but it was last week, released yesterday, specifically mentions Marvel vs. Capcom 4.
Oh.
With the announcement of Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection and Marvel talking about how happy they are with the reception to that announcement, who knows, buy or sell the possibility of them working on Marvel vs. Capcom 4.
Absolute 100%, 100,000% buy. They are going to work on this. This is not a situation where maybe the collection's not going to sell like bajillions of copies. I think that you have a very strong niche audience for this collection that's going to buy it. I know I'm one of them. So it's sort of a thing where they're gauging interest, and I think that they can already see that interest is through the roof. I think that the fact that the collection even exists is a good sign that Capcom and Marvel are talking again, that they are willing to make this collaboration work in the future and to combine their efforts, and move forward. After Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which was kind of there were no X-Men characters in that. There was no Wolverine in that game.
It was very weird.
It's awful. It just like, I know, thank God that Max is working on that like fan-made, mod that's gonna like make it a more suitable Marvel vs. Capcom game. But I mean, like, MVCI was a step back for the series and just not where it needed to go. And I can see why the relationship soured between the two companies. But now that we have this going on, now that it's being mentioned in the comics themselves, I think it's all a good sign. And I think that, it's probably like, I don't know if that's like it's not like a confirmation or anything. It's probably just the writer and it's being a Deadpool comic. You can say stuff like that and be like, we're throwing a bone out to all the people that love this stuff. And I mean, I'm excited for it. I think Marvel vs. Capcom 4 is definitely coming down the line. It's going to be amazing. This is all just leading us to Evo. This is leading us to like a big announcement. I feel this, and I feel like it's going to happen eventually. If it's not Evo this year, it'll be next year. And and hopefully some Capcom versus SNK stuff is also coming down the line, because we know right now Capcom is riding high, and we know that they're in a good spot and they're experiencing good relationships with all these other companies. So I think, collaborations are coming.
Yes,
I can't wait.
Absolutely.
And I'm excited.
All right. Now, this one has to run with a caveat that I think a lot of people are missing the fact of the plot of the movie. Buy or sell our first looks at Green Lantern and Hawkgirl in the behind the scenes of Superman. Tommy, go ahead.
Taking a look at this for the first time, you said that, okay, we've got Hawkgirl and what was the other one again? I'm sorry?
Green Lantern.
Guy Gardner, Green Lantern.
It's Guy Gardner, Green Lantern. People are complaining that they look too basic and regular. And a plot of this movie is that they are a corporate superhero team processed by a millionaire. That's why they have their logos plastered over.
That's
People are not understanding that fact for why they look like Garbo. It's meant to look Garbo.
This is James Gunn's Superman?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, good grief. Hawkgirl is fairly decent. I mean, nowhere near as good as how it looked in the Arrowverse, but the rest of it, I mean, I mean, of course, this is just an image, so it's all you know. I still maintain optimism about how the final product turns out, but based on first looks, not sell in the sense of in the sense of next, but sell me in the sense of why I should invest my time into this. That's the best way I can describe it, because I just don't see the resemblance of, not necessarily how I grew up with such, but how this could be adapted into this story moving forward.
Nice.
Well, I'm very curious because this looks like it could be the Maxwell Lord Justice League International kind of a thing. So that's what I'm thinking. That would then sort of make this seem like this is. I mean, we know that this is definitely not going to be like an origin story, right? Like Superman's he's going to have been active as a superhero.
For
I think
a la Tim Burton Batman back in the day.
Right. Yeah. So he's been in operation and stuff like that. So people know about superheroes. This is Mr. Terrific looks fine. Hawkgirl looks fine. Look, it's Nathan Fillion. Nathan Fillion ain't going to steer us wrong in terms of his performance. He's going to be a great Guy Gardner. If we couldn't get him as Hal, we can get him as Guy, and I like that. So I'm going to say bye on this. I know, Umbreon, I can feel you shaking your head. I know. It's okay. We're still friends. It's all right. Take a deep breath.
Mike,
we'll share a drink at a bar someday.
Sounds good.
I buy Mr. Terrific because the Fair Play costume looks ripped right from the comics.
Mm-hmm.
I buy the wig that Nathan Fillion is wearing because clearly James Gunn is going for
bowl cut.
the 90s era JLI.
Yeah.
He
exactly.
looks like the owner of the Vegas Raiders.
Oh, for God's sake.
The only one I sell is Hawkgirl. And that's because...
Really?
Yeah.
Really? She's like the best looking one there. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's not that. It's that I just hope they don't ignore the Thanagarian origins of the character.
I get you. I get what you're saying.
I see that.
Okay, so you're not
RWBY?
Honestly, I'm not even that mad at this. I mean, because look at James Gunn's track record. I mean, the reality is, as much as people, in certain sectors of the internet, fan over Man of Steel, the truth is we haven't gotten a good Superman movie in a couple decades. And I want some good food. I don't care where it comes from. It could be from the side of a garbage can. As long as it's edible, I'll be happy.
Yeah. I buy the living hell out of this because I can tell you right now, I don't think any of them except for Mr. Terrific will be wearing this crap by the end of the film.
That's a good point.
I was talking with someone about this the other day, and there is a leaked picture of them arresting Superman, and there was talking about thinking that they're not understanding what a true superhero looks like that isn't a part of a corporation type of deal. And by the end of this, they're going to kind of look up to Superman and not want to look like a corporate douche canoe by the end of this movie. So I have a feeling that I don't think Mr. Terrific will change, or I hope that Gotti doesn't change, but I think that those two will not look like that by the end of the film. This is just what they start out to look like, corporate douchebags. And I'm going to be honest with you. The more you can make Guy Gardner look like a douchebag, the better.
Yes, the better.
He's a douchebag.
This is perfect Nathan Fillion casting for Guy Gardner. For God's sake, I did not think of this when I first thought of him as Green Lantern. I thought, how?
Well,
but
you know he's voiced him multiple times.
Yeah, exactly. But Guy Gardner is absolute 100% perfect.
Oh, absolutely.
I just want to see Batman punch him in the face.
Oh, as do I. I want to see him get knocked out.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Recreate that cover.
But yeah, that was that. All right. So I know that Tommy wanted to talk about this. We might get into it later. So I'll save my opinion of, oh boy, am I feeling more and more right about The Rock every day as the day goes by. But anyway, so again, this is more this is more of, I guess, Kiona and me kind of, or I suppose Bree can get on this too. Kiona, buy or sell, Capcom veteran defending Assassin's Creed Shadow from backlash. It's a game, not fantasy. It's a game, it's fantasy, it's not reality.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, I definitely buy that. I'd buy that for $1. But
$1.
You know what though? Yeah. I mean, come on, guys.
This whole controversy is so fucking
silly.
stupid. Oh, and I saw it in the doc later. We'll go over the petition from the Japanese.
With the two top developers that somehow look whiter than me. That's a challenge. If you look whiter than me, you are trying hard. Just gonna throw that out there. But yeah, I got nothing more to really say on it. It's just okay. The last boss, and I want to say Assassin's Creed 2, was the Pope after he turned into a wizard.
Do I need to go to confession just from hearing that now?
Like, in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Nikola Tesla makes you lightning weapons.
Yes.
No, but you know, acknowledging that black people exist, I guess, is too far.
Yeah.
Too far.
As someone who's listening to this story, like listening to this this Kingdom Hearts style story revolving around history, was this Pope Leo the Great we're referring to, or just a regular pope? Just like
it was an actual pope. I'm blanking on which one it was.
Because if that's the case, you know, because Pope Leo the Great led troops into battle. So if we're going by history. Now my Catholic upbringing.
I'm freaking blanking. Which
The
Pope
brain-
is in
the brain
Assassin's
cells are
Creed?
not Catholic
Pope
in my
Sixtus
Catholic
V. Yeah, but like there's just, if we're gonna, it's one of those things where if you want to start dissecting the historical accuracy of Assassin's Creed games, the fact that it started after they are spotlighting a real character instead of a fake one as the main character, and the fact that Tommy, here's the situation.
Yes.
They have Yasuke, the famous African American
I think. Well, America
not samurai.
didn't exist
What's the
Ronin?
What's the word? What's the word? Not samurai.
Ronin.
Not Ronin even. Shoot.
I
think
can
of what the term-
see it. Hang on.
I can't think of what the term is, but everyone's like, no, he was technically this. He wasn't a samurai. He was technically that. He wasn't this. I'm like, okay, again, historical accuracy, no. You're mad that it's a black man and the Japanese representative in the game's a woman. That's why we're upset.
Good grief.
It's not even shinobi either. It's another term that I want to say. It starts with an S. Oh, it's not. It's an English word that they use for a Japanese setting of someone like underneath the samurai. I can't think of it. It's not a specifically Japanese word. I'm blanking on it.
Is that the ranking?
Like a serf or a vassal, or
it's a ranking of him. The word's escaping me. It's like subordinate, like that word, but not servant. I can't think of what the damn word is.
Oh, jeez.
It's like adjunct or something. It's not like a derogatory like term, but it's a station below. I'm not gonna think of it. But anyway, it's just really.
You talk in a clan or ranking specifically.
Just
Shogun?
a ranking. No, not shogun. It's like not even like samurai shogun. It's something below it that's not a specifically Japanese term, but it's used by the Japanese.
Ashigaru?
No, I can't. I'm not going to think of it. I'm literally not going to think of it. Stipend. But no, I'll look it up as we're talking. I just can't think of what the heck it is.
Yeah, no worries.
But while I'm looking that up, Mike, because you'll have one on this. Nintendo says they will not be using generative AI for video game development. Generative AI can be more creative, but we also recognize that it has issues with intellectual property rights. We hope to continue to deliver value in its that is unique to us. It cannot be retainer, I think was the word I was trying to think
retainer.
of.
There we go.
Yeah.
Retainer. Yeah. That's what I was trying to think of. We hope to continue to deliver value is unique to us and cannot be created through technology alone. Buy or sell.
huge buy, and something Cameron and I talked about on animation is companies like Nintendo and Illumination are kind of the best at not laying off like
Keep talking. I'm just getting a fan.
percentages in like the double digits of their employees, and B, being vehemently against AI. So any company that takes that hard of a stance, I am in full support.
Well, I mean, A, like, good on Nintendo, and B, also good on them for being consistent, because let me tell you, next to Disney, they might even rival Disney. Like, Nintendo's is one of the most litigious, like, companies in the world. Like,
Yeah.
they, you know, copyright is their sacred cow, so...
They killed Let's Players for a while there.
Yeah.
They
Wanted to be a part of the partner program.
Right, but I'm saying, if you're like that on, like, IP, I mean, generative AI is copyright theft. So I'm like, Nintendo would be massive hypocrites if they said, "Oh, we're gonna shut down these fan games, but we're gonna use Gen AI." I'm like, no, that's not how that works. So,
No.
you know, like, I'm not saying Nintendo's like the best company in the history of capitalist companies that ever exist, but at least they're like consistent in their morals.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. Kiona, buy or sell?
That's a big buy from me. Yeah, obviously. The less AI that we have the less AI involvement we have in things, the better.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
good on you, Nintendo.
I agree. I assume, Tommy, you would have the exact sentiments considering what we were just talking earlier.
Yep. Big buy, and backtracking to my previous statement about the bastardization of Now and Then in Argyle. You know, this is such a good public relations showcase and standpoint, and how people can really go forward in respecting Nintendo as a brand, let alone trusting them and their direction, as similar to, as Mike, you were saying about Illumination, among others. I've always been a big Nintendo supporter, and it makes me love them even more now.
Absolutely. I want to say it was it Shuhei? That was the one that gave up half of his salary in order to not do layoffs.
Exactly.
Yep.
I see that, and I think I want to say it was him. I can't remember who did it, but it was
like Iwata, I think.
Yeah,
oh, Iwata. I'm sorry, Iwata. Yes, Iwata.
Yeah.
Yes,
Sure.
But yeah, he gets paid, give or take, a lot. But compared to most CEOs, he gets paid almost nothing.
Yeah,
because a company actually gives a shit about making games. And they've openly said that, like, we don't need to have games consistently making a crap ton. If we have like one a year that sells upwards of like 20 million copies, we're good. And that's how they do things. They only release a few a year that make big bucks because they're able to live off of what they have because they treat it so sacredly.
and I think they're learning too from like companies like Square, who are Square Enix, who are like, oh no, we're gonna develop things using like NFTs and AI and stuff like that. It's you can see the public relations backlash there.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So
real quick, Brock, was it Shinobi? Was that the term you were thinking of?
Umbreon.
Oh no, it was Retainer. That's what I was trying to think of, because people were trying to think that he wasn't quite a samurai. He was the rank below, so he's not important enough to be. And I'm like, it's fantasy again. Wizard Pope.
And like Umbreon was saying too, in Odyssey, you go to Atlantis and you fight Cerberus and things like that. So I mean, there's a heavy, in the Assassin's Creed games, there's been a lot of fantasy elements and stuff like that. There's a whole freaking time travel aspect to it. Come on, people.
Yes, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting on my someone to pitch a convincing screenplay for Kingdom Hearts that doesn't feel like at this point a direct knockoff of Once Upon a Time. Because you've got a whole Disney library to yourself. I was actually talking about this, not to get off track, but
yeah. What, you don't want an entire like half season of Frozen?
Hey, no. I was actually having a conversation with somebody once with somebody who I work with, and we were talking about how the possibilities through the entire library of Disney are endless, and how one can create a compelling Kingdom Hearts story. You can use like you've got obviously you'd have to adapt it for motion picture purposes, but you could use side characters instead of like Goofy Donald and the main characters. You could use somebody like Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, Buddy from Air Bud instead of Pongo. The list go the Air Buddies even. The possibilities are endless. Heck, you can even throw Herbie in there for all we know.
Umbreon, it could be. It would be on crack, and I would watch the shit out of it. I know nothing of what goes on in Kingdom Hearts. If you want to watch one of the best videos I've seen in my entire life on YouTube, do a good enough. It's a good enough summary of Kingdom Hearts. It is genuinely one of the funniest videos I've ever watched in my entire life. It is a man giving up on his sanity, attempting to explain the storyline of Kingdom Hearts, and it's one of the funniest things I've ever watched.
Wow.
It's
just
the Pro CD videos on Kingdom Hearts are pretty good whenever he does like Kingdom Hearts skits.
Yes. It's sellable, and it can be it has the potential to be an adventure, a sellable adventure story specifically from a Disney standpoint. The possibilities are endless. Think of the marketability from that aspect.
It is just the only thing they'd have to get Square Enix to play along, and I don't know how well that would do if they're just going to chop half of Final Fantasy out of that game. Because I just love that. What are we going to do? Well, let's come up with an original character, cool, and then slap Disney and Final Fantasy characters in it. Tyler, why do we need both Disney and Final Fantasy? That's a litigation nightmare, Tyler. Tyler, why are you running away? What are you doing, Tyler? Get back here.
Tyler, don't make me call your mom.
Good Lord. Would they show it on Disney Plus or Hulu? My God.
Disney Plus. I mean,
well, Disney Plus and Hulu are basically the same thing now.
Well, yeah, it's all under the umbrella. Ella, hey. No, when you look at the selling point, when you look at the selling point of how one can market it, like I make it PG, make it PG.
Don't I want hard R. What are you talking about?
Kingdom Hearts? What are you talking about?
Hard R, baby.
Dora somehow decapitating someone with the blunt end of a keyblade. It's just what I want to see.
The Society 13 scenes are a little too sexy for the kids.
Let's get Josh to direct it. Let's just all
with Roxas
Josh to direct
topless scene.
Moving on.
Anyway,
all right. So on to the gaming news. Then we'll get through that as quick as we can because there's a decent amount in there, and then we'll get to the meat and potatoes, what Tommy wanted to talk about. All right, so according to the senior director at AMD, the PlayStation 4 helped them avoid bankruptcy.
Really? Huh.
Yes, the mangled 15-person product development team for the Sony PlayStation 4 that has sold over 91 MU to date, viewed as one of the most successful launches in AMD history, helping AMD avoid bankruptcy.
Wow.
They did sell a metric load of PlayStation 4s.
This is true. Yeah.
So
I mean, if anything's going to help them, then it would be, making a deal with Sony for their console and just selling a whole bunch of chips to them and having them go to town.
Oh, absolutely. And the PlayStation 5 was built off of bordering on the same architecture, just jabbed with steroids. So
yeah,
it helps. I really didn't have a whole lot on that. That was just a thing that I thought was kind of cool. I'm like,
interesting little factoid. Yeah.
A company that I thought did pretty well.
Yeah.
Point blank saying that they almost went bankrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad AMD's around. Otherwise, we just have NVIDIA and Intel, and frankly,
we don't need that.
We don't need that. We don't need a two company market when it comes to that stuff.
All right. Next subject, which you can talk a little bit more about because it's insane to me. Capcom has just announced the acquisition of Minimum Studios, an animation company that has worked with Capcom extensively in the past. Minimum specializes in face and body animation and most recently contributed to the development of Dragon's Dogma 2. Taiwanese company was acquired through share purchase, with Capcom paying the equivalent of just $27,000.
Whoa.
That's a bargain.
I could have bought them.
Yeah, I like it, bro. I mean, Brock, you're fucking up. It's just like, where were you?
It's insane to me. Like, this is the same level of when you hear about that Sony bought Insomniac for $220 million.
Or when WWE bought WCW back in 2001.
Oh man,
What they bought them for the lint? How much did they buy them for? Like, how much was that?
Like,
it was
close estimate, $4 million.
That's insane.
Exactly.
That is insane.
Considering Eric Bischoff and Fuzinet were preparing to fork over between 50 and 70 million. And once they lost the Turner TV deal, it was worthless.
Well,
true.
That if we want to have a whole podcast about the who killed WCW thing that's coming out now, the one episode has an airjet. I wonder who it is. Maybe their names rhyme with Bischoff and Russo. I don't know.
Bro,
could it possibly be?
Bro.
There was an interview recently where someone actually clocked Vince Russo. It was like a 30-minute interview, and they think he said bro like 300 times.
Bro, let me tell. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you, bro. This is what's happened with WCW, bro. Okay, bro. Now we're gonna talk, bro, about the real things that happened with WCW, bro.
With the torture that it
Hogan,
is,
bro.
So is bro in this case
Hogan
basically
and Nash,
like
bro, and Bret Hart? I don't like that guy, bro. Come on.
So is bro basically like John now?
No, bro is Vincent Russo breathing.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding.
No, but is bro just like But is bro just like a word you use for everything, like John? Like, look at this John over there, you know?
No, it's worse. It's worse. I kid you not. When you know how people will breathe to antidote the break in a statement, Vince Russo says bro. Like, I don't think he breathes. He just says bro. He's like a wall-mounted big mouth Billy Bass that just says bro.
I have
bro.
No, I have
bro.
Bro, I was better than bro. 80% bro of the entire roster, bro. That's what I'm saying, bro.
Bro.
If that's how it's gonna be, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna do it myself. And bro, I just have to be straightforward, bro. If there's this one episode, bro, if I'm able to convince, if we're able to align the stars to the core, I will personally guarantee the ratings will be through the roof if on this wonderful podcast called Renegade Marquee on the Renegade Pop Culture Network, bro.
That's right, bro.
If we are able to get both renditions of the powers that be, bro. One was the original incarnation in 1999, and now we fast forward.
It's such a good Russo, honestly.
We fast forward to many years later, and we're able to get this new rendition in live stream. If we're able to get both on the same podcast that talk professional wrestling, bro,
that's
it is
right,
gonna
bro.
Be absolutely fantastic. Of a wonderful podcast, combining all aspects of entertainment. Because keep in mind, folks, I write a TV show. I don't write wrestling
fantasy,
matches. I write a TV show. That is how you get it done. That is how you create custom entertainment.
Bro, I think you broke Brock, bro.
Bro, listen, bro, okay? I was talking to Goldberg, bro, and I told him not to spear me into the frickin' railing, bro, and I had a concussion, bro. This is what happened, bro. He totally speared me, and he tried to injure me, bro. I'm just saying, I'm being perfectly honest, bro.
That'll forever be known. That'll forever be known.
Brock's broken, bro.
I'm broken. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have.
Cause I'm broken.
That was.
Yeah, I'm trying to say. Hey, does anyone remember actually, it's kind of good. It's a guilty pleasure. The Seether song from like the 2004 Punisher movie.
That is not a guilty pleasure. That is a good song, man.
No, I love it. No, the Amy Lee. No, it's good. But I'm like the Punisher soundtrack.
I had that growing up.
That is a banger needle drop, bro.
You want to talk about old school? That was the time when iTunes was the big deal.
Yes.
And in order to get broken off the Punisher soundtrack. It was locked unless you bought the whole soundtrack.
Yes, I do
remember that horse shit.
Oh, remember that?
Yeah. I don't remember that, but I
like
actually did end up buying the CD for at like a books exchange for like $3. I have it like buried somewhere.
Oh Jesus!
Like I watched that movie somewhat recently. That Punisher movie holds up.
Is that soundtrack available on vinyl?
I would doubt it.
I don't know.
I mean, shut up and take
I
was.
Yeah.
I don't think so because I don't know why, but probably because like the 2004 Punisher movie is just kind of like more in like the obscure like cultural memory now. Like unless you were there, like I don't think people just think about it all the time. Hey, remember the Punisher from 2004? You know, because this is the same years that Spider-Man 2 came out. So I'm like, if you think of movies that came out in 2004, I don't think the Punisher is on it.
We're going to sit here. Hero, and this is an honest-to-God question that I'm asking the panel today. Spider-Man 2, Chad Kroeger, and Josie, can't think of his name, from Liva, Hero, or Punisher.
Wait. Hero's from the original Spider-Man in 2002.
I swear to God, it was from 2.
No, you're thinking of Vindicated.
Trains, Ordinary. That was the banger from the soundtrack, bro.
I do like Ordinary.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Classic. Perfect.
Anyway.
Say that a hero.
Perfect bow to wrap on a classic movie, bro.
That's right, bro.
If anyone watching this podcast, when it comes out on YouTube, does a counter and puts it in the bottom, you will be a saint. Anyway, so
I'll just say this, speaking for Brock, bro. If Vince Russo is listening to this, the powers that be, the door is always welcome, bro. Come on, anytime we would love to have you.
I believe you when you said you were better than 80% of the roster, bro.
If I could sit in on a podcast and be able to tell Vince Russo about how he's the biggest mark in all of wrestling.
No.
I so agree with you.
I'll just be straightforward. Vince Russo is a very creative mind, and one of the reasons that I own a pen and paper. I love it. I love it. He's a very creative mindset. He created some of my favorite stories growing up, from all aspects of how he wrote, from what was then known as WWF, WCW, and even TNA.
No. I'm not saying he's not creative.
Oh yeah.
But if you listen to him talk about anything that isn't what he would do on a TV show, it is the bottom of the barrel scum that should be fed to children in Africa.
No.
You need to listen to his podcast every now and then, because everything that gets a good rating, he goes, I don't know why they watch this shit, bro. I just can't do it. It's stupid. It's not how I would have done it. The audience loves it. Fuck you, bro. That's literally his podcast every week.
I need to.
Well, that's because he's talking about AEW.
That's WWE too, man.
Not today. Not today. We'll get to that in a moment, bro. But let me.
Bischoff was not my boss, bro. I'm just saying. I'm being perfectly honest with you, bro.
No, I'll just say this.
Yeah, bro, we got to move on.
I'll say this real quick, Brock. You know, there's this there's a title that he had, on Vince Russo's podcast. It was called "Castrating the Marks." I think you fit that description perfectly tonight.
Anyway, that was just too much fun, though.
All right. Okay. So
I was wondering when we would fall.
Oh, and this is the perfect transition. We're gonna talk about some crackers, bro.
Okay. So heavy quotation marks in this. Japanese petition to cancel AC Shadows, signed by mostly white non-Japanese people, has reached 50,000 votes. And I'm going to show you a picture of the top supporters.
After a word from our sponsors.
Yeah, those are totally Japanese people right there.
If the top supporters were two scholarly-looking Japanese people that were in an office that looked like they were teachers, I would be a little bit more for this petition. But I don't mean to be that guy. What do you typically think of when you think of a white gamer nerd that doesn't see sunlight? You think of a graphic tee. You think of a graphic tee. One of them's wearing it, and you think of them having a gaming racing chair. Do I need to point out what both of them have?
Check. And
I'm just saying. What does someone describe? What do you think of when you picture the World of Warcraft episode from StarCraft or from South Park? This should not be your top supporters if this is a Japanese petition. What are we doing? What are we doing? If we're going to do... Assassin's Creed has never said this is 100% pure, unadulterated, off the top, nothing wrong, culturally appropriate stuff. Again, Wizard Pope. Lightning weapon Nikola Tesla. What are we even talking about?
But Brock, you know, my gamer fifis are scared about people with vaginas and, you know, people with, you know, melanin in their skin. Like, think of the children.
Oh, I think of the children that those people aren't having that are complaining about this. But yeah, that's one of those things where I can't find an article about this petition that doesn't have the word Japanese in quotation marks. It's just, what are we even doing here? Like, I just...
Bro.
Bro, yes.
No more.
This is like something I would have thought of in WCW, bro.
No, you're right. No, what he would have done is he would have hung the black Japanese-centric historical figure above a forklift.
RWBY, meanwhile, in ECW country is waiting to see the Sandman get crucified. See the Sandman get crucified, bro. Anyway.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Yeah, but Brock, you should just say for the YouTube version, just have the title be zeroing out, bro.
Bro.
That's probably what it's going to end up being, if I'm being perfectly honest. And Vincent in Third Invasion of the Russo. So I don't know if anyone saw this, but there was, when did this happen? A trailer for a story-based A Quiet Place game came out.
I heard about that.
I have not heard about this.
I only know about it because of this document.
Yeah, it looks cool. That's an honest to God, like a stealth horror game. That is an interesting concept. Like, you can't talk. Now, what I want it to do is you kind of have because they did this with Alien Isolation, where you could plug in your headset, and they would do it as a challenge to where the alien could hear you talk and breathe through the headset, so it would help the AI come and find you. And that would be kind of cool if they did that for A Quiet Place.
That is interesting.
I just thought that was interesting because I had no idea that was a thing, and I didn't know if anyone else had heard about it.
I was actually thinking, as I was watching day one, that A Quiet Place would make a very interesting setting for a video game.
It could essentially be Alien Isolation, just out in a town.
Exactly.
Which was just you avoiding an alien inside. I can't remember what the name of the ship was, but yeah.
Was it the Nostromo? Or was it a different ship?
I don't remember. It's been ages since I played Isolation. Really good game, but it's been ages. Fiona, I know at least this will strike a chord with. Sega reveals the newest Crazy Taxi game is a massively multiplayer open world AAA game.
Okay. Sure.
And
I mean, I'm just happy to get some more Crazy Taxi.
Now,
I'm
will it
cautiously optimistic. I don't know.
Will it have the Pizza Hut ads?
It better.
Will it have Bad Religion and the Offspring in its soundtrack?
It better.
It won't.
What's up? What's up, Tommy?
Will this lead to a interesting screenplay to be sold?
Bro.
An adaptation
Possibly.
standpoint.
I would watch the crap out of a Crazy Taxi like
Let's do it.
I'm
Let's
surprised
Crazy
it
Taxi
hasn't
movie.
happened yet, quite honestly, because it's sellable.
Why the hell not?
It is. You just need to have someone ridiculous being the driver. I don't know who, but
Will the narrator guy come back? Remember that guy?
I don't know.
Time to make some crazy money.
It'll be like funny. You just have like Pedro Pascal just be batshit insane.
Oh, jeez.
No, what he needs to always look like, I can't think of
That
what
would
the
be
movie is, but he's
amazing.
driving where that gif where he says, I can't think of what movie that is, but it's that gif of him driving, and then I can't remember who the other actor is that just looks at him like he's nuts. I want to say it's Nicolas Cage. Looks at him, and you just...
Oh my god, no, you have him and Nicolas Cage star in the
Pascal,
Crazy Taxi.
Nicolas Cage, Timler Morrison playing Boba Fett being a crazy taxi driver just so that he could do that one part in Boba Fett when he was like trying to teach the Tusken Raiders how to ride the speeder bikes.
Dear
Oh,
God.
And they'll just be
honest,
like,
an honest to God person would be pretty good for this. I think of the Alan Tudyk if they did one.
Oh, yeah.
Would be too
you know
bad.
what though? If they bring back the trappings of Crazy Taxi, like we were all saying about like the the music and the narrator guy and the characters and everything, and just being, for lack of a better term, crazy and wacky, then I'm sure that Crazy Taxi, I hope it's in good hands. That's all I have to say about it. Sega, don't do us wrong. Come on, you know that we're hyped for this stuff. You know that we're hyped for this, for Jet Set Radio, for freaking Streets of Rage, another Streets of Rage. Like another Shinobi. Come on, you got to do something.
What would
You gotta
be
do us
what
proud
would, what would be on your Jet Set Radio playlist?
Limp Bizkit.
On like a Crazy Taxi playlist or a Jet Set Radio playlist. Jet Set Radio, I want original songs by the original composers. Bring them all back. For Crazy Taxi, I mean, just you got to have some throwbacks to those days, man. You got to have some. It can't just all be like, please don't make it all rap. Don't make it all rap.
Needle drops galore, and not to be there just to be there.
Not all of it rap. Some of it can, because it would fit in with the modern, we have to have it be a modern game, but I mean, you got to also have some offspring, some bad religion.
Throw in, I mean, the first thing that, like, if you're talking specifically needle drops, I mean, think of anything that's on Old Nation these days. I mean, I mean, first song that comes to mind is Green Honda by Benny. Like that would be that'd be a pretty good fit. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, no, you're right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I agree 100%. There'd be a lot of what I have to sit down and think about it.
I am all for this. If they can do something interesting and new and unique with Crazy Taxi, just as long as you don't forget the fact that it's supposed to be crazy. It's supposed to be an arcade title. Don't make it some serious open world like this is a dark reimagining of Crazy Taxi. Don't do that.
It's fun.
Don't Vince Russo it is what I'm saying.
No. I'll say this much, okay? Vince Russo is Quentin Tarantino. There have been some.
That's a fucking statement and a half. Holy shit.
Vince Russo is like Quentin Tarantino compared to some other nonsensical jargon that I've seen written by like a writer's room of complete cartoon cats. That's the best way I can describe it.
Jesus Christ. If you could have gave me a billion guesses, I did not think you were going to say Quentin Tarantino. That's a statement. All right.
Creativity is on full rich. It's the reason why in our flashback to our Halloween Ends podcast that my review teetered positive.
Yes. All right. Moving on. Breaking from Capcom Next, summer 2024, director Koshi Nakanishi reveals that a new Resident Evil game's development. In other words, water is wet. It really is
what? After not, Resident Evil 9? What a shocker.
Yeah. It is really difficult to figure out what to do after 7, but I found it, and honestly, it feels substantial. The previous stuff that Nakanishi worked on was he was a designer in Resident Evil 5. He was a creative director for Mercenaries 3D. He was the director for Revelations, which was freaking amazing, and he was the director for 7. I know that Tyler somewhere is very excited about that revelation. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. For now, the rumor going around is that, again, this is just rumors, but that it is centric on Leon and Jill, a pair that have not headlined a game together. But it's also rumoring that in the true Resident Evil fashion, that it will have nothing to do with the 2 cliffhangers that got left off at the end of Resident Evil 8. Love Resident Evil, but I want to punch their story directors in the face some days.
Retconning can be a good thing, but when you overutilize it, it becomes a poison.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's all I really got from that. I'm excited. I'm one of the biggest Resident Evil junkies on the planet. So I'm
you weren't enthused about the Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, were you? Were you not?
I am. I was just gonna bring it up for a little bit because it's like it looks good. I don't got much else to say.
This is true.
I mean, it's like they're getting the original. Speaking of music, from the sounds of it, all the original music's coming back for it. They said that in a post, so that is good. I wouldn't mind a better Dead Rising sequel than the last one we got with Frank, but
yeah.
Go ahead, Tommy.
Speaking of music, I will say that if you want to listen to a really good needle drop, there's a particular instrumental rendition of Ozzy Osbourne's Black Sabbath rather's Iron Man. It's called "I Am the Batman," and it was the theme song by this particular personality, a particular power that power was Vince Russo.
Oh my god!
Jeez, oh man!
Way to bring it back.
You're talking about Vince Russo. That's why you go. All right.
I can't wait to see which designated image you're going to use of him.
Let's just cut to Goldberg saying, "Yeah, man, Vince Russo's an asshole."
Goldberg also thinks the guy whose career he ended was an asshole. So let's just think about that.
I know.
But,
I know.
All right,
this is true.
And Goldberg was a generational talent too.
You could just cut to Bret Hart. Just Bret Hart just going. Eric Bischoff was an asshole. Hulk Hogan was an asshole. Vince Russo also an asshole. Basically, everybody's an asshole.
Yeah. All right.
I'm the best. The best there was. The best there ever will be.
That he was, and one of the 10.
And he was
one of the 10 greatest wrestlers of all time.
So Bret Hart,
from the craft
we agree with you.
Yes. Moving on.
Yes, please.
Hideaki Miyazaki says that there is interest in doing an Elden Ring movie, although a strong partner would have to be involved, and he would have to be heavily involved. Which makes sense. I would much rather see a TV show of something that freaking big, but
yeah,
that's just me. And tailoring on to that same thing, director of Helldivers 2, which ties back into Elden Ring, just get all of it in there, says that games always cater to a select audience while defending Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree's difficult boss encounters. A game made for everyone sometimes is made for no one.
It depends. I mean, do you want a wide audience playing your game or do you not? Elden Ring is a game that's catered to a specific audience, which is fine. And that's good. I mean, there's room for both. So I don't think that, the Helldivers 2 guy saying that it's always got to be this one way. I don't agree with that.
Well, that's the thing though. What he means and what I'm taking from that is that game is made this way to be made this way. You're not signing up for Mario expecting to get Elden Ring, and you're not signing up for EldenRing expecting to get Paw Patrol. I think that's what he means by that.
Well, I think if anything, in the complaints about Elden Ring, because there's another similar argument, this is more of an accessibility thing. Like, I think there should be a pause button.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Alana Pierce is being dragged over the fact that she thinks the same thing. Which is unbelievably stupid to me. She literally described a Microsoft patented term, and people are cropping her video out and dragging her through the dirt because of it.
That's dumb.
God.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that is the, fans of gaming now are very entitled.
Yeah, just Kiona, that eye roll was beautiful.
Some fandoms can be so toxic.
I mean, I'm referring more to people like I'm a fan of gaming, but I mean, like people that would say like, I'm a hardcore fan of gaming, and I'm going to be like, difficult games are the best things for me. Don't give me any of your Disney Dreamlight Valleys or your Palias. Peasants!
The smart marks, bro, are really the ones who really take the fun. That really take the fun out of the overall experience, bro.
It's a shame that we get copyright strikes because I'm like so tempted to play "Toxic" by Britney Spears right now.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Yeah, it's one of the. It sucks, and like I get for a standpoint of that, you're looking into those, and they're making these are hard for people, and it's hard like when it's starting to become a niche audience. It kind of isn't niche anymore. Elden Ring sold over 20 million copies.
Yeah,
that doesn't
no,
sound
you're right.
niche
You're
to
right
me.
about that.
So it's like the people that beat the original game are now going, and I've seen people are screenshotting old people's things. Beat Elden Ring was not as hard as I thought it would be. Same exact Twitter account. Erdtree comes out. This is too hard. Why did we do this?
All I remember is my nephew was playing it last week, and every 5 minutes I heard it was fuck, 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 fuck.
Well, to be fair, that's par for the course.
We
That is what-
apologize for that language.
that is part of it.
Yes, that's what you encounter until you get everything down right. Like, there are people that beat these games without rolling.
Right.
This is what happens when you with the final boss.
Oh, jeez. We're gonna all right. So, on other news of speaking
I'm
before,
gonna take my belts and I'm gonna show it to you, Mama Rhodes.
Mama had
You're gonna have your son's blood on it.
moving on. Speaking of earlier about water being wet, Ubisoft CEO confirms that Assassin's Creed remakes are coming. First, players can be excited about some remakes, which allows us, to revisit some of the games we created in the past to modernize them. Not change history back to how it should be, though. There are worlds in some of our older Assassin's Creed games that are still extremely rich.
The quest for more money.
And so is Yves Guillemot.
Lucasfilm called. They want their playbook back.
God.
Jeez.
Pretty much. All right. Oh, I had that.
The Assassin's Creed remastered.
Pretty much.
You know, it's gonna have as many versions of Assassin's Creed as there are Kingdom Hearts. Like Kingdom Hearts 2.57, eat. You cannot sleep, eat, or drink.
Those are different games.
You shall not dream. Tetsuya Nomura says no.
Red Bull.
The dreams are the darkness.
Yeah.
Good
Absolutely.
Lord. No, I don't got much to say on it. I'd be happy if they remade Syndicate, but they're not going to because that was the one that no one cared about because it came out after Unity.
Damn it.
Because it was a good game. All right. Next topic. We're almost through the gaming news here. Rockstar co-founder Dan Houser explained why they turned down movie offers for Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption. They wouldn't have creative control. Most video games adaptations at the time were poor in quality. It wasn't worth risking a multi-billion-dollar IP. The times are different now.
Why can't we make series of these?
Well, I guess he's referring to probably like mid 2000s. I'm assuming.
Never gave a time frame.
Well, then I don't know what the hell he's saying.
Well, here's the thing. People are mad at the boys. If you did half of the shit that people do with their own control in a Grand Theft Auto and don't tell people about, it would turn into a thing that people would destroy over being, it's too violent. I don't know in this thing. Oh my goodness, they're stealing cars and shooting civilians.
Bro,
And there's
bro.
strippers.
No, I won't do it.
Yeah.
Think of the children who
Yes,
see,
the children who play Grand Theft Auto.
which there plenty are, but getting up and down that pole, getting those combos like it's Dance Dance Revolution.
Love it.
What they got to do. But I just think it was the fact that they wouldn't be able to have it exactly how they want because they're very protective over those kind of things, and you wouldn't be able to make a full any of the Grand Theft Auto games well in a 3-hour movie.
Oh no, of course not.
No, absolutely not.
Or like in the series again would be a lot of just what crime do we need to commit this week, and it would get old really fast.
Yeah.
Because you're not doing it.
Yeah, unless they do all the crimes at once.
Or an anthology series.
Mega crime.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. An anthology series set in one of the GTA games.
Good.
What can I say except you're welcome?
All right. Moving on to something that I'm not still quite sure how I feel about it quite yet.
I love it.
No console, no problem. Xbox is coming to select Amazon TV Fire Sticks to be able to play games directly from your Xbox app.
So I'm guessing
that's
whatever
gonna be a
was
smooth
left of Luma is dead.
Yeah, right. It's going to be a smooth sailing experience, let me tell you.
Yeah, I love we're not giving up on consoles. By the way, you only need a Fire Stick. What? What?
All hell has broken the hell loose.
What kind of power is your TV putting out, or like what your streaming capabilities are?
Yeah, all I hear is like.
Yeah, I don't. This is.
Oh goodness!
Yeah. So you're telling me that like a $20 to $30 Fire Stick can like play like 60 frames per second in 4K? Sure. Okay.
Yeah, it's weird to me where a person like you. I don't think of a Fire Stick when I think about gaming. And then it's like I'm trying to think of, honest to God, question here. People that game have a console already. Is this going to become, oh, my friend got a console, my parents bought me a Fire Stick?
Ooh.
Ouch.
You think any kid that knows what a console is going to ask their parents for a Fire Stick? Or any adult that has a disposable income that wants a console is going to pick the Fire Stick over a console?
That was
no.
That was, I'll say this based on my own experience. Christmas 2000, was it 2010? Yeah, it was 2010. I asked for an iPad for Christmas, and it's like you ask for an iPad for Christmas, thinking you don't think of anything else, and then you get an iPad, and then your sister gets an Apple computer. And I was like, oh.
I could have just asked for that.
Yeah, it's it's like you get a brand new car, you get a Cobalt, and then your sister gets a Corvette. It's just but not to sound egotistical or big headed or any way, but I just think it's something like when I think of that analogy, I just think of something like that.
Yeah, because that's going to become the new playground bullying.
Oh God!
Even between Xbox owners, it's going to become, yeah, I got an Xbox for Christmas. Why'd your child get beat up? Because he said his parents could only afford him a Fire Stick. That's what it's going to turn into. I can guarantee you.
Yeah.
Kids are monsters. People get beat up over a lot stupider shit nowadays.
Fortnite skins?
True.
Yes. All right, one last bit of gaming news. Nearly 6 months later, Pal World devs confirmed that Nintendo never so much as drew an inch of its legal sword over the bootleg Pokemon allegations.
An inch, you say?
Yeah. That makes me happy. Because this was one of the biggest ones ever. PS5 is switching a Fire Stick. Big GIF versus a wrapped up USB.
I got a Fire Stick.
But I think that's cool that they're just like, no, we realize that this is not Pokemon, so that's nice and nothing happened because
I have a thought in my head, Kyoto. When you just said that, I got a fire stick. The image I was thinking of was the kid that says, "I've got an anime on my side."
With that same thing, I'm trying to imagine the same excitement of the N64 kid opening up the fire.
Yes. I was thinking of that.
This has all the makings of a Jesse Wellens prank video.
Exact. I just like, what are we doing here?
We are having so much fun.
Okay. All right.
It's like this podcast was written by Vince Russo. No, I'm kidding. Okay.
The power, bro. It's the creative mindset, and bro, this is what happens. This is what happens, bro. When Brock hosts, and he is graced with the presence of his long lost cousin from Boston.
Listen, bro, as long as it's not Eric Bischoff, bro.
If Vince Russo was Bostonian, bro, I mean, how are we supposed to convert?
His brain is breaking. He can't do it.
How are we supposed to convert from the Yankees to the Sox to the Sox after everything that we went through, specifically from 2003, one of the greatest games we ever witnessed in our lifetime? I mean, my God, bro.
Okay. Moving on to the main thing that Tommy wanted to talk about. WrestleMania 40 behind the curtain, aka The Rock makes an ass of himself.
At least they course
this is when I told Vince that he should buy WCW. Like, that becoming a meme is the best thing that's happened out of that entire thing.
Yeah, that meme.
I used to be a giant fan of The Rock, and as a wrestler back then, I was a fan of him. The person he has turned into now, Captain, I need to be the most important person in the room. I want to blow my brains out every time he talks.
Yeah,
and this behind the scene thing 1,000% proved what everyone thought of what happened. You know, I was very concerned when even just a small chunk of the audience was upset over me coming in and breaking up a 2-year-long storyline. I just didn't think I was going to get that kind of reaction. I don't get why they were upset.
He didn't expect that kind of reaction. Mm-hmm.
This event that was already sold out before I came back, I'm going to sell more tickets for.
How could you not expect that kind of reaction, though? I don't get it.
Time and a place. You know, he's a wonderful. He really is a very, very good businessman. There's a reason why there's a reason why he's on the board of directors, why he literally is the final boss. But when you look at that standpoint, I mean, it just really showcased it. I mean, like,
was he watching?
I don't know.
Up to that point, maybe he wasn't watching.
No, it like this idea, but it was more of where WWE was when he came back, rather than what they evolved since the TKO merger, and since I won't get into
the allegations of El Mustache.
The evolving and moving forward is the best way I can describe it. But like it ultimately, what happened was it ultimately evolved into something really much more special. And even though even though, like, because if one were to watch the entire storyline as a whole, going from week to week, and ultimately getting to that payoff, it really was cinema, and you know, from a documentary presentation standpoint, for all the pyrotechnics, this presentation was a colossal letdown based on how it was built up and the hype. We got the idea out of it and the gist, but when you go back and watch the story in real time as a whole, you know, you're really experiencing something special from a creative standpoint, from a building standpoint, and seeing this superstar complete a journey and quote unquote finishing his story. It's like there was a fan cam where you know, The Rock was talking about getting away with certain things, and the one moment where it paid off, was and I'll bring up, not to joke around, but to, you know, be serious. This goes back to something. This was back in 2016, because this was when the People versus O.J. Simpson miniseries was airing. This was on Stone Cold podcast, featured a guest, and his name was Vince Russo. And what happened was no. There's a reason I bring this up, and I want to explain why. Like, he was talking about being, from a creative standpoint, being innovative and really showcasing like the moment of shock and awe. And there was this one moment. This was around the time when TV networks were starting to get more intense, like really emphasizing the TVMA aspect of the rating. And when that moment in the People versus O.J. Simpson, where American Crime Story, where Sarah Paulson's Marsha Clark put her children to bed, and then she goes outside and she reads the paper, and she sees the headline that O.J. Simpson is being represented by Johnny Cochran, and she was like, Cochran. And then it panned back to her looking at the story, the realization that this is going to be about race, and then it fades to black, and you hear the voiceover, mother, and like that, like I didn't see that coming. Like, as a viewer seeing that for the first time, I was like, whoa. Like, and I bring this up because Russo talked about that moment of emphasis, and he was absolutely right in that, about how being that innovative. And when you see that moment when the Rock is the final boss, was beating up a bloodied Cody Rhodes in the rain in Chicago outside of his tour bus, and he looks at him and he says, "This is what happens when you with the final boss." And like that moment of element, like, whoa, did we seriously just go there? And then when you see from the audience standpoint, after the show faded to black and the arena, when it ended, the audience just went like, something that you never see in a WWE ring of that magnitude. Like, it's just like a standing ovation, like as if you were in the cinema. It was that emotionally compelling and that innovative as we got to that satisfying conclusion. And when looking back in real time, Samantha Irvin announcing Cody Rhodes as the champion told the entire story.
Yes.
And how we got to that standpoint. Yes, indeed.
Well, that was a beautiful moment.
Yes.
Of like pure emotion and like unscripted. Like, this was just Samantha Irvin just giving that call and announcing Cody as the champion. I thought that was so wonderful, and it made me tear up.
Yeah,
just feeling that, like it immediately, it just brought you in on that moment, and I felt like, you know, and everything, like, it was a pure botch for Rock to try to take Cody's, you know, that in wrestling terms, that was a botch. Like, that was really stupid on his part. That was so dumb. But like, at the same time, the way that they turned that around and turned it into a positive, and of course Roman and Paul Heyman and everybody just being there, being the backbone of that, I feel like it was such a good job
of them like turning that story around and making it so that Cody has his moment, and not only has his moment, but everybody gets their comeuppance. Roman gets his comeuppance, The Rock gets his comeuppance, and it's on the, it's not even Stone Cold, it's freaking Undertaker that gives him his comeuppance at WrestleMania. I mean, that was a great build. It turned into something really good and something that I haven't seen from the WWE in ages. Since the Attitude Era, since I stopped watching it consistently, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the whole Bloodline storyline, not saying what it is now, because I think what it is now is kind of, I mean, obviously they're building towards something, they're building towards Roman coming back and Heyman coming back and everything. Yeah, that's basically what it is now at this point. But it's I felt like Roman, first of all, hats off to Roman. He was a great champion. I know he was a heel champion. He was a great champion.
Greatest professional wrestler, sports entertainer, however you want to call it, or however you want to call it, of this decade. He was, to quote Ric Flair,
the man. Roman.
Yeah,
he's the man. He's like, he is my tribal chief. Screw you, Solo Sikoa. You're not my tribal chief. Anyway.
You are not my tribal chief.
That's right. And Paul Heyman always being the sycophant, always being the guy on the sidelines, just saying, I love you, my tribal chief. Please, my tribal chief, I beg you. You must win, my tribal chief. I just love Paul Heyman.
Yes.
He's such a legend.
Yep.
Him going to CM Punk too recently. I'm sorry, we're getting into the recent stuff, but him going to CM Punk and saying, like, take me with you. Like, that's so funny. Anyway, the build up to WrestleMania, it was incredible. That was such a hell of a show. So I will say that at the very least, they course corrected, they got it turned around, and they did something really good with it. Something really, I think, magical with it. I haven't felt that much excitement for a WrestleMania in a very, very, very long time. So, for all his faults, at least The Rock had the business sense to be a part of that and turn it around into something positive. Because if he had not done that, it would have been a disaster. It would have been disastrous for the company and for him personally.
Yes.
And I think at the very least, I don't think that he's to the point of no return of like, I'm not gonna, he's not gonna Vince McMahon it. You know what I mean?
No.
He's not gonna screw it just to be like, oh, it's for my ego or whatever. I mean, I know that he's an egotistical guy.
That's what he
to
did
be
in this
that,
situation.
he almost did do that. I mean, to be what he is, you have to have an ego. It's just, that's par for the course. But I am glad that at least, cooler heads prevailed in this respect, in this instance, and things turned around and got better.
WrestleMania they did turn around and got better, but the fact that at the drop of a dime, the guy that writes your creative can be told to fuck off is terrifying.
Yeah, that is terrifying.
The guy that is week by week writing the amazing storyline you guys are speaking of can go, hey, I want the guy who's going to win your Royal Rumble to not do anything. Because do not forget, unless Punk gets injured, none of this shit happens. We needed injuries and a bunch of other stuff to make this happen, on top of the fact of the fans telling The Rock to fuck off in order for the storyline to happen. Because if Punk wouldn't have gotten injured, this still might not have happened. Cody wouldn't have had a match. The winner of the Rumble wouldn't have had a match.
Yeah, no.
And the fact that could just be done because The Rock can step off of Mount Olympus and go, listen, not feeling it this time. I know we've teased this match for 3 years, but I just ain't feeling it. That's terrifying. And they did course correct, but you shouldn't have had to.
Yeah.
That's the part
I agree with
kind of not saying. It was great, and it was a great build, and it was a great course correct. That should not have had to fucking happen.
Yeah.
Should not have had to happen.
I look at that and I think of how, WrestleMania 41 in Vegas. I think that at the Raw after WrestleMania 40, that they had that stare down with and that shoe promo, I guess you could say, with Cody and The Rock. And I think that sets up for the main event of WrestleMania 41 next year. I don't think that I'm not saying that The Rock's going to win the final boss is going to win the Rumble, because I think that if the trends continue, that spot's going to go for the Men's Royal Rumble anyway. That spot's going to go to Finn Balor. But I think that for the Universal Championship, like that's the final boss, the final chapter, and that would be he'll still be the on the board at TKO, but I think that would be the final send off before he sets up his presidential run in 2028.
Oh, geez.
No. Anything is better than what the heavily rumored by ex-workers and current workers rumor of what that original match was supposed to be between Rock and Roman. Do you hear what the heavily rumored by insiders rumor was for that?
Which was
the Rock was going to come in, be the only guy that could beat Roman, pin him, and then give up the title because no one else could do it, and then let it be vacated and then go off to shoot movies again. It was going to be shown as the people's champ for getting the title off Roman.
Tournaments. We're going to have tournaments, bro.
No, the correct way is we're going to do a tournament for that. It's like, no, that is the most... Anytime I think of a tournament, I think of Tony Khan. I love Tony, but the man loves tournaments way too much.
I don't love him.
Bro, Tony Khan just does not understand the fundamentals of the business, bro. He can't hire me because he wouldn't be able to tolerate my creative mindset, bro.
But still, Tony, if you want somebody to come in, bro, and give you some advice, here's my number, bro.
He couldn't even work with Bischoff. What does that tell you about it?
Bischoff, bro.
Bischoff, bro. And Bischoff even stood up to me on another podcast the other day.
Jesus.
Okay.
So no, I agree with you, Brock. I agree with you. I think what you're saying is absolutely right. They shouldn't have had to course correct, and also that match sounds like it was horrible. There was a point where I think at one point earlier in the storyline they could have had a thing with Rock and Roman, and I think that they lost that opportunity. By the time that Cody came in and then Punk coming back. I mean, who expected that? So it wouldn't have been. It's just not. It's not feasible now for Rock to come in, and especially to win a match against Roman. Even I was thinking that. I was going at the time when I was thinking okay, so if Rock comes back, faces off against Roman, are they taking the belt off of Roman to somebody like The Rock who cannot, who's not going to be able to wrestle and defend it?
Right.
It wouldn't have made any sense.
No, because he ain't going to do TV dates. He ain't going to do all this stuff. Like I said, he would have came in, won it, dropped it, and left. Which is, that's pure ego. That's not business ego.
That's pure ego. Yeah, that would have been.
Wrestling is a business where you need to be selfish at points. That ain't it.
No. Yeah.
We're having a problem where people want to have future champions that build the business off of it. The Rock's not that person.
Nope.
And having your generational 3-year-long reign be ended by a part-timer, people used to get really upset at Goldberg about that.
Yeah. And Brock Lesnar and
Shouldn't be any different of a treatment because it's the same damn thing, except they got called to do it and the other guy made the call so he could do it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. It's again, ended up great. And I literally teared up when he won the title and was hugging his mom. But that should have happened either way.
That moment. I mean, look at that. Look at that moment with, not only that, but with Triple H. Bruce Pritchard was in the ring. You got CM Punk, John Cena. That moment, you would never see that in the previous regime. You wouldn't.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Oh, absolutely not.
Vince would have gone out of his way to not make it happen. Vince never would have let that happen.
Tradition.
Yeah.
Tradition of excellence. That's what sports in professional wrestling is all about.
Yeah, so they're actually allowed to say now. Okay.
Yeah.
So moving on, the thing that I badly want to talk about because my God, this made my day while I was on vacation. Viz Media bought RWBY.
Yeah.
One of my favorite, literally the series of why I have this YouTube channel, because I used to make Ruby Crack videos and AMVs, is here. And it got out from, well, technically Warner Brothers' connections with Viz, but I'm just happy that someone got it. And from the sounds of everything that Viz is saying, they're going to give everything they can to it. The only thing that I'm wondering is that if it's going to get shifted to 2D to save on costs.
I mean, I feel like part 10, which just for the record, and I want to ask you, Brock, what's the best like entry point for this? Because all I know is from my friends is that there's 2 gay girls, one of them's a cat girl, there's swords, and there's fighting. So what is the best?
Bree, you could legitimately, and I mean this, legitimately watch all 9 seasons of RWBY in like a week. Day.
Oh, in a day.
In a day. There are episodes of that first season of RWBY that are 3 minutes long.
Yeah, I remember that. I mean, the only other part of this is like a less funny part, but it's like kind of like funny in a black comedy way. I remember in college, like my public speaking teacher was a fucking asshole. He also happened to be my advisor. And one of my classmates did like this public speech about this, because this was right after Monty died, you know, about like how much Monty meant with him. And then the professor's like, I don't really like feel that.
What?
No, and he was like impassioned. He was like really good, and like he was trying to keep it together. Like I said, this is a major douche canoe, and the only speech of mine that he liked is the one I had like a sinus infection, and I was talking about ray tracing, and I was high on Sudafed. Oh, so I was like, oh, cool. You don't really like me when I'm on drugs. Yeah, that's not gonna kill my confidence for years.
Yikes.
Yeah, entry point, start at the start. You can literally blaze through the show, and getting to watch it without listening to people that are just some of the most brain. You talk about fandoms that are toxic.
I don't care. Give a shit about them. I don't give a shit about them.
Well, no, like, it's just the statements that this show that no one except for people at Rooster Teeth worked on. They only had one guy quit and make this during Volume 3 when Monty died. This guy was fired, and he made this big NDA breaking statement about how they're not doing what Monty wanted. They didn't do this and that. And it literally reads like the letter Stan to Eminem in the Stan video.
Christ.
And then they've had multiple people that quit Rooster Teeth because of the way that the Rooster Teeth higher-ups were treating them. Do you know what none of those people that formerly worked on RWBY did when they quit? Back this guy up. None of them backed up the claims that they're not treating RWBY's or Monty's content properly. Monty's voice role was taken over by a blood relative.
Yikes.
His family openly props the show up as much as they can. The show was made by Monty by a handpicked of people that Monty wanted as his best friends that he gave a lore Bible to and had 12 seasons written out. People bitch that the show didn't go the way they wanted because they brought up a thing that was never in any of the previous seasons. But if you literally watch the intro to the second season, it's there. And this was while Monty was alive. And the show was written and half of it was animated while Monty was alive. And then everyone goes, no, they've totally redid the entire third season within a week after Monty died. That's what happened. That's just how animation works.
No.
No, it's not.
Yeah, not even if you're on like a shoestring budget, like the first couple of like seasons of RWBY that I've like seen like out of context. I'm like, that shit takes more than a week.
It does. And then all of them would go, this isn't what he would have wanted. Did you ever meet him? And this is people in Volume 8 going, well, no, I never got a chance till he died. I'm like, so you know what he wanted more than his best friends that he worked with for half a decade on this show, but you never met him or talked to him personally, and you know what he would have wanted. Well, that's every year when it just equates to the last thing I'll say. If you don't like the direction a show goes in,
Then stop watching.
Exactly. You didn't like the direction. Congratulations. That doesn't mean that they did something the creator didn't want. What would they gain? The show, and then it's like, what are you going to say? It went woke? He openly said in the opening interview that characters don't know their sexuality yet, and this is a character that would regularly cross-dress cosplay at cons. But he didn't care! He was one of the most chill motherfuckers on the planet! Anyway, that's it.
But anyway, just a sidetrack again. In terms of Warner Brothers, they've been Viz's home video distribution partner for like a decade. But other than that, it's... I mean, I'm happy for Viz. I mean, really, I don't think there could have been like a better fit for this since they're already like familiar with...
I want that too, Tommy. I'll give that to you. I will, I promise.
Fantastic. Make a... Lock it and save it, Mike. We'll use that on the marquee. when do it.
Oh, God.
Keep talking. I'm just writing a note.
Talking. Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
Timestamp down. No,
yeah,
again.
Yeah, but I'm kind of curious where RWBY's new streaming home would be. I'm assuming one of them is going to be Hulu whenever Hulu decides to not be broken. Which, oh, by the way, breaking news: all of Hulu is down.
Yeah, it's apparently down.
God help us. It's the end of the world as we know it. Anyway.
Well, I mean, it really sucks for people who do Hulu Live TV because literally now they can't watch TV. So that
that sucks for them. Yes. What about Prime for RWBY?
It could be anywhere, and the weird thing is, it could realistically end up back on Crunchyroll, or it could even go to High Dive. Like that wouldn't be terrible.
I would love that because it'll get more people to subscribe to Hive.
Right.
Or High Dive.
Yeah. I mean, they might have it in a few places, but I definitely feel like Hulu's going to be one of them. Just because
for sure.
Viz has had. Well, I'm just saying Viz has had, even pre-Disney, like they've had a relationship with Hulu since like 2007.
And that would mean if it goes on Hulu, that it would be partially shown by Disney, and all the characters of RWBY would be Disney princesses.
Good grief.
Oh, jeez.
Welcome back, Fiona. Welcome to what you just walked into.
Like, there are a few shows that I kid you not, I wouldn't be doing YouTube if it wasn't for this. I wrote a fan fiction for 8 years with RWBY. Any creative writing I've ever done in my life was because of this show. Mm-hmm. And I am technically, don't mean to brag, a Hugo Award-winning fan fiction writer because of AO3. If you were on AO3 and wrote anything, you automatically won this Hugo Award. So that's nothing special. I just like to put that on my resume that I won a Hugo. Don't even know what that means, but they let us all know that we won one. I'm so happy. Exactly, and it's just you get to see Carrie, who was the first person that Monty told about this idea because he's one of their main animation directors. At the announcement making this for Viz that they've got a new home, Carrie, who's been basically the godfather of the show, taking it over after Monty was gone, that Monty openly said he trusts wholeheartedly him and Miles, the main director and the main writer.
Yeah.
I don't get people that, that's like I said earlier, the main thing is if you don't like a direction a show heads in, that doesn't mean something changed. You cannot like something and it just not be your thing. Game of Thrones didn't tickle my fancy, but I'm not saying it's a bad show. And I'm talking to seasons people liked.
I'll never forget. I got into Game of Thrones like the final season. I was like, oh yeah, and I got my big thing of Oreos. Meanwhile, like the whole house is burning down.
Pretty much.
People are in flames. Although House of the Dragons, like, good.
Yeah. Hey, that Starbucks cup was the best cameo that Game of Thrones have had so far. So, moving on to a more adult set of content. I'm also wondering if it's going to be possibly a little bit more adult if it's on Viz. I'll have to wait to see about that. They barely swore in the later seasons now that the characters are growing up more. But has anyone other than me been watching The Boys?
I'm still far behind.
I'm not
when
up with
is
this season
the-
at all.
They air
When
on
is
Thursdays.
the finale? Because I
They have
think what I'm
2
gonna
more
do is
episodes.
okay. Because I still have to get through Gen V. I think I'm gonna spend like 2 weekends
Gen V
to try
was
to get all of that
very good.
done.
To be fair, other than part of the episode that had Tech Night in it, which I will agree was
A
a
lot.
hard watch at points.
A
Like
lot.
it was a lot is a way to call it. It's still just, oh boy, Huey's having a rough run of it. This season has been fantastic. This season has been absolutely just bang on awesome. And I cannot wait. Again, we'll see what happens. Eric Kripke says the show is ending on season 5, which they're closing in on running out of characters in certain situations. So I fully believe it's ending in season 5 because you can't go on much farther with how the story's heading. They're just, I love it. They go a little ridiculous at certain points? Yes, but this is still tamer than anything that's been in the comic. And I don't think people get that.
No.
This is the only time, and I mean only time, where I see a comic book adaptation that is 1,000% bordering on different. Like Vaught America and all of these movies they star in, they made up. That's not in the comic whatsoever. And a bunch of other things. This is the only time where I have not run into a person yet that says the comic is better.
No, you're right.
That's
I don't think it is.
unreal. And it's like, it's written by, it was literally Garth Ennis masturbating about how much he hates superheroes. That's what the comic is.
Yep.
That's what it is, yeah.
And like, you could tell that they took the idea of that and then made it into something much better and changed some stuff around. It's a lot better. And like, technically, I think the show's going to end kind of how the comic did, just in a different form of fashion, because they changed major ways. Like, the character that kills Homelander doesn't exist in the show. It was originally, Black Noir was a clone of Homelander that did all the bad shit, and Homelander didn't know it. So that's like just tons of shit changed. But yeah, I'm enjoying it thoroughly so far, and they're getting even more viewers, even though this is the lowest audience score season they've had.
Well, you know.
Unreal. But yeah, and well, here's one other thing. Everyone, leave Erin Moriarty the fuck alone.
Seriously.
Okay, what's going on with her? What's going on with
She got buccal cheek fat removal. So her face looks more broad. And there's one picture where she had a fucking metric ass load of makeup on that made her cheekbones look super sharp. So one picture of her that looks really bad. And now everything about her, she's ugly. She's built like a Greek column. And I'm just like, no. Like, are you watching the fucking show? She doesn't look like that picture in the show. Everyone get over yourselves. It's them. They can do what they want. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before all these people bitched and complained that Starlight didn't look good enough, do you ever think that maybe it was some of you fucking assholes that pressured her into possibly doing something like this?
That's what it seems like to me. I don't really want to speculate much about that, but yeah, people just leave Erin Moriarty the fuck alone. Seriously.
Oh. All right. I think this is something, this next thing, moving on to, that I think that mostly me and Mike will care about, because we were masochist enough, Mike more than me, that sat through all of the later seasons of The Flash and everything else. Arrow showrunner Mark Guggenheim. The first like 3 seasons of Flash, especially season 1, fucking immaculate.
Really good.
The amount of people that trashed on the seasons of Arrow, I'll never fucking understand. They were never getting Batman, so some of that shit being adapted.
No, it was never. Yeah,
need to get over themselves. But some of those later seasons of Flash were just.
Oh god, yeah. No, I tapped out after a while, but honestly, I've been, maybe one day I'll go back, watch all.
I will go back, because at least Barry and Tom Cavanaugh and the people that were in it were good.
Tom Cavanaugh was great.
Yes, but Arrow showrunner Mark Guggenheim reveals that he was warned that there would be no more CW if the Arrow TV show didn't work.
I kind of have to laugh at this comment, because if we're being completely honest, there is no CW now. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Under the new ownership, CW is a shell of its.
It's not.
It's a shell of its former self, which already was a shell of what made the original WB network very unique.
Oh yeah, and that was like read the last interview. Yeah, we're still going. It's a podcast, my dude. It's read the recent interview with Jared Padalecki about Walker shutting down.
Oh, I saw that.
Oh, it was not good. But to finish the comment, WB TV chairman Peter Roth basically laid out for us in incredible detail the reality that if Arrow wasn't a hit, there would be no more CW. Now we also have the pressure of keeping the entire network on air, which makes a lot more sense of how that thing spidered into everything.
Yep.
Which, hey, those shows were good. Most
real quick. I apologize to all our viewers watching at home on your device anywhere around the world. What did I walk back into?
We're talking about how Mark Guggenheim was talking about how I'll get the exact statement back up here. Arrow showrunner Mark Guggenheim reveals that he was warned that if Arrow did not work, that the CW would basically shut down.
I mean, that's. I mean, it's good motivation. It's good motivation for one to try to make the best product, to try to make the best and most viable product possible with what you're trying to sell. But at the same time, not to get big-headed or anything along those lines, but really? I mean, like, I think of, because when you think of where CW was at that particular point, and you think of how influential CW and the WB was before then, while you think of, I mean, was there so much budgetary or anything like that was focused on?
A lot of their they didn't have a big budget for a lot of shows and shit like that, and they weren't getting a lot of ratings. Like the only one that got consistent fucking just banger ratings was Supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how many times they tried to kill that show with giving it bad time slots, it still did ratings.
They had Supernatural, and they had they still had Smallville for a period of time. But when you look at something like the Arrowverse, again, this goes back to DC not calling Marvel's bluff, and this goes back to DC calling Marvel's bluff and having their own respective universe. It could have been something special, original, and magical, but at the same time, they could have combined all elements of the media and still make that love letter reminiscent of what the crisis was, what the crisis was, and that love letter to that storytelling. But by that point, it felt like we had already been there with Avengers: Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
So, it really, I mean, he's not wrong in providing that motivation, but at the same time, was it really, you think, like, yeah, that's, motivated to provide the best thing possible for the outlet, especially for something in a world where everyone's so dead set on Batman and Superman, but really? Because
it's one of those things where, again, like that the CW was kind of their dumping ground for where they wanted, and like the president at multiple times went, "We're not making this channel a superhero channel. We're not getting any more." Supergirl pulled off a CBS, put on the CW, and then there was Black Lightning, and it was like, wow, it's like you're kind of playing on the only thing that works. But then after Arrow went off and the Flash went off, and then it just.
That could have been some. Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, they're going in a different direction. CW is as a whole. I mean, you've got, not only do you have new and compelling stories, you now have sports entities coming aboard. You've got NXT is coming to CW, which I'm really excited about to see where that goes. And not only that, but from that standpoint, let me say this first. You've got college football. You've got local sports that are going to be showcased to more of a broader audience on CW, not just affiliate based, but nationwide. NASCAR Xfinity Series is going to be coming aboard. It's going to be interesting to see what they're able to what CW is able to do from that, and that'll be its own separate entity away from Fox, Prime Sports, TNT, Warner Bros. Discovery, and NBC Universal. There's so many possibilities that how they can really take CW to the next level. But going back to NXT for a moment, you've got the stars of tomorrow that are being showcased in a new light. You've got Big Joseph. You've got Big Joseph calling like one of the a passionate next level play-by-play announcer that's vain of Michael Cole, and it will one day be up to his own, be up to the task, and really be that generational storyteller for the next generation. But the one thing to be really excited for have that voice, that energy, that pizzazz, if you will, on commentary. The one reason to get excited is because of Booker T is leaving the building tonight with the belt. No, I had to build up to that. But anyway, yeah,
Bro.
but in all seriousness, CW is still a unique network outlet that does have potential to go in its unique way, even though it's one of the main networks that you can get on basic cable these days, and you can still get through the website to watch play-by-play reruns. Not play-by-play reruns of its TV series available online on its website. Nonetheless, exactly. But it's really exciting to see how it can move into its future, into the next generation with the presentation of its outlet.
Oh, absolutely.
And I could go on about how I would book the coverage of the NASCAR Xfinity Series and provide it as an opportunity for women in sports media. But if I got into my full slate, we'd be here until next Tuesday.
All right. Yeah, we only got a few more things left. We're almost out of here.
All right, so we're on Paramount, right?
We're on Paramount. Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. What was that picture? Let me read the caption.
Oh God.
Let me read the caption. Oh, I saw that. Why you hurt me like this, Paramount? You took that ass long.
Bro.
Paramount.
It's supposed to be a logo.
I know.
I literally just drew that. I had to. I was just
Paramount creating a next generation leading entertainment company.
Next generation.
Please
Star Trek.
Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica.
Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, shucky ducky quack quack.
Let's see. Also, and to add on to that, I guess we could get rid of it. Tech Scion David Ellison reaches preliminary deal to gain control over Paramount, one of the oldest Hollywood studios. So while we're at that, I could just throw that in. But yeah, there is the logo right here.
Oh my God, they killed Kenny.
Yeah.
To quote Marlon Brando from The Godfather, "Look how they massacred my boy.
Look what they did to my boy."
How will this signature?
And also to quote, I believe Jason Derulo, ass.
It's so just corporate looking.
It's so corporate.
I hate it.
I miss the cursive Paramount font.
It's so just terrible.
Let's just say, thinking optimistically, we'll say this is a working logo, a work in progress, not a final edit, and it provides curiosity to see how the opening signature will look at the beginning of.
Man, if they don't do the stars in the opening sequence anymore,
If they don't do that anymore,
they will.
yeah.
No, they will. I look at this, and I
Get
think of the classic Paramount logo that you saw from what was it, the
Transformers.
No, not that one. The one before, like the 90s, early 2000s. That one. That
Oh, I
particular-
thought you were going to go a little bit
yeah.
older, like in the 70s and 80s.
Like the golf era.
Yeah.
Transformographizers.
I beg your pardon. What?
Oral knots. Oral knots. Anybody know the oral knots? Come on.
I know the Arl knots. I just didn't recognize that.
Yeah.
What
It
happened to your face?
Yeah, it's the Dasani. No. It's
What the hell's going on out here?
Ubrion. It is the Dasani. It is the Dasani of movie logos.
Oh jeez. Oh no. Bree.
That's bad.
Not wrong though. She's not
One
wrong.
last thing before we move on. I looked at that Paramount logo and I immediately thought I should apologize to Warner Discovery.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, this is
At least they backtracked and made like a newer version of their old Shield logo.
Their classic logo.
Mm-hmm.
This just looks no, I don't want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to see mountains, Gandalf.
All right.
I've seen gates that move a mountain, but not this particular Paramount mountain. It just looks so bad, bro. Anyway,
Ahsoka season 2 will reportedly feature Balin's skull, but it will recast with the passing of Ray Stevenson.
This is me caring about Ahsoka.
I saw
Yeah,
it. I feel
I never
bad.
watched it either.
Ahsoka was good. Balin's
No,
skull
it
was actually pretty good.
No.
That characterization I at least liked.
I wish that
Yeah.
that they had I wish if one was able to see the I lost the train of thought. It'll come back to me.
I
It's all
love
good. It's all
Ahsoka
really
in
bad.
Clone Wars. I mean, I love Ahsoka as an animated character.
Yeah,
I
no,
do
that
not care about the show.
lightsaber duel with Darth Vader is the best lightsaber duel in the entire saga.
And that's no shade to Rosario Dawson. She's
No,
very good, but
no,
I don't love the show.
Ashley Eckstein just it's bring that whole new light, that whole emphasis on what the character is, and it's just incredible to see what not only her work has done, but her incredible presence out of the vocal booth as well, outside of the Star Wars universe with her universe.
So I've gotten to meet her, be within like panels and stuff at a con, and she's an absolute sweetheart.
She's absolutely
She's very cool.
All right. Just before we end on a kind of two sad notes here, Bree, do you want to explain this translation thing?
Okay, so I'm just doing this allegedly. This is just based off the information. So, Brock, are you aware of the Deer anime that just came out? My
Not
Dear
even
Friend Nokatan. All right,
Not
so basically,
even remotely.
okay, so basically, it's a Deer girl, and it's supposed to be like an absurdist comic. It's a girl
we'll be
with
talking about
antlers.
this in our summer preview, I'm sure.
But anyway, so the anime officially came out yesterday. They did like a special preview like a few days ago, and then something curious happened. So, a smaller company picked it up, and then it's being like released on a couple different streaming websites like Amazon Prime and Crunchyroll, and the subtitles look weird. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we have a simuldub, which, let me give you, the voice actors did a good job, with what they were given, and this is the part I'm building up to. So the subtitles look weird, and sometimes how you have, like, the dub title subtitles?
Mm-hmm.
The Netflix
This is-
effect?
This is the reverse of this. We have I guess it would still be a dub title, and those subtitles may or may not have been made with machine learning. So we have an AI-generated subtitles, which is like a literal translation, which is like localization matters, And you know why literal translations are bad, anime fanboys. So it's like this really awkward thing. Like, the voice actors, like, they're doing a great job. And the fact that it's an all remote cast, which makes me feel like so bad. Because I enjoyed the show, but I feel like bad, like, talking into it, like, in this negative light. So anyway, they have like voice actors literally, since they're doing a literal translation, like fighting for their fucking lives, you know, trying to match the lip flaps. And it's just, again, this is why like localization matters, and why. And then allegedly there's like another anime, I don't know what it is, that may or may not have used AI voices. And this is, yeah, I haven't heard as much about that one, but again, to me, this is like both a blessing and a curse. Like, this shows why direct translation and why AI generated like scripts are just never going to work in a practical application. But the fact that it's like 2024 and we have like a script, like, it is borderline. Do you guys remember like the old YouTube of like the fandubs people used to use, and literally they were just reading off like the fandub subtitles?
Oh, I remember those.
Yeah.
It's that exact same vibe in 2024.
I don't know if you're familiar with the YouTube channel Cartoon Cypher. I really hope that they make a video about this, explaining the whole situation. Because I would love to know more about all of these decisions.
I feel bad for the voice actors who I clearly weren't aware that AI might have been used in like any sense, but they all do like an amazing job, and it just sucks because a lot of them, this is like their first big like anime role, and just like the whole situation is like kind of shitty.
Yeah, looking at the cast for the English dub, a lot of those names are people I don't recognize, which is great because I want to see more names like in the anime voice acting.
And it was all recorded remotely. Like, you could never tell. Like, the engineering, like everything else was like great. It just, but you know, they had to work with what they were given with, and what they were given with was a giant pile of shit, apparently.
Yeah, that was one thing that was brought up last moment. So like, I had no idea what was going on, and like, I don't know what happened recently, but apparently they also took the comment section out of Crunchyroll today.
That just happened today. So yeah, I guess fuck 15 years of community, I guess, because you know we don't want to moderate people being jerks in the comments.
Just turn it off, I guess. But yeah, all right, we're gonna kind of end on a sour note because we had two passings in the entertainment industry. Martin Mull passed away. Just anybody want to bring up favorite memories, roles?
I mean, for my generation, the one that everyone's going to go back to is Vlad Plasmius from Danny Phantom.
Yep.
Yes.
That's a good one.
That is for sure. Anybody go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'll go ahead. I'll go next because I think of you think of his roles in TV and film. You think of, just from I didn't follow his career religiously, but when you think of his comedic work, specifically on that of 2.5 Men, or even what was it, Richie Rich's Christmas Wish. He was in, and then but then the one that I go to back regularly was his role in How the West Was Fun with the Olsen twins. That was, it was he understood the assignment, took it, and memorable moments, so many memorable moments, and seeing that story progress. It's just fun. You don't have to be a kid. You don't have to be a kid or a young child to watch that and see just how much you could tell he was having a ball making that movie. And it just really goes to showcase his versatility and how much fun he was able to have no matter what type of role he was given. Funny, versatile, just able to provide many memories.
Yeah, like the one of them that jumps to mind immediately was Sabrina.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that out.
Sabrina.
Mr. Kraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just just a really good, the exact type of character you needed, like only he could fit. He was that guy of character actors, and he was just great. Like, I'm forgetting all the little roles that I'm seeing now in like Dexter's Lab and Wild Thornberries that I forgot for voice acting that he's done. What's that?
Recess.
Oh yeah, Recess. Yeah.
Recess. Holy crap!
Yeah, he's done a lot. Like you said, Vlad and frickin' Danny Phantom. My God, he was just
the DJ and Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
The radio was like, I have a magnet.
It was, I'd give you a voucher, and then you would get it eventually.
Yep.
Oh, and then obviously Roseanne.
Oh, yeah.
Course.
Can't forget about that.
Community as Britta's dad.
Oh yeah.
Community.
Highway Harry and Psych.
Psych. Yeah. Just a great character actor overall.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really great.
I just got. I have to look up how old was he.
80, I
was,
think?
80, yeah. He had just turned 80.
He
Yeah.
lived a long life, so
Very good life.
at least there's that. All right, one last one, and this is not one that I was as full up on for everything that he's done. So this is more of a kind of you guys thing to let take over. That James Cameron producing partner John Landau has passed away.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he did not live as long as a life. So he had a private battle of cancer, but this is like such an astronomical loss. And Mike, I think you can probably best articulate this.
John Landau wasn't just a producer. He was James Cameron's right-hand man. Like he's been with Cameron, I want to say at least since Titanic.
Yeah, so about 27 years is...
Damn.
Incredible.
Wow.
The Packers' #1 fan. For Mull guy, yeah.
Right, but the other thing about Landau too is that, it's particularly with like Avatar, like he was arguably more like the public face behind Avatar, probably more so than Cameron. Like he did all the interviews, he did the stuff at the theme parks. Like he was always like so animated, and from everything I heard, he was like a really good guy too. And he, I mean, especially taking. And just like a visionary too, like taking big risks. Because I'm like, even though yes, Titanic made like $1 billion, blah blah blah. Like I think people forget like how much of like a risk Avatar was, like financially.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Same thing with Titanic. It was the same thing. And look at what happened and the stories that ended up telling from a filmmaking standpoint to being #1 at the box office. Incredible. All because of this, not only this determination and this this teamwork that not to sound punny, but it really did make the dream work.
It did. And you're not wrong.
Yeah.
It sucks, but yeah, don't need to hear about it anymore, because that was just like I was like, okay, it was Martin Mull, and at that I was just like, I don't need to talk about anymore. And it's because like I want to say it's a podcast before Sutherland.
Sutherland.
Yeah, like we can.
If anybody needs a streaming pick, like go watch it. He wasn't a lead role, but a supporting role. Kelly's Heroes. I mean,
oh yeah,
God, that that all-star cast, and then just his character coming up. You knew like it was something. It was something really special.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, you know what? I don't want to be on a total downer, so, Brock, can you play this one video just to kind of give us a little bit of American motivation?
Is that thing going to get me copyrighted?
I don't think so, because it was at a Dodgers game.
That doesn't help your situation.
It's a public domain song.
What just happened? What just happened?
Keep in mind, Brock, this is coming from a Phillies fan, so be careful.
Yeah, trust me, I'm aware.
No, this is good, wholesome American fun.
Good, wholesome American fun from a Philadelphia fan.
All right, I'm gonna keep that limited so in case something happens. But that's funny.
I like that.
That is funny. I have kind of fallen in love through TikTok of a VTuber named Fillion. If I could describe a personality, feral guinea pig would be about what I could equate it to. It's fucking hilarious. I'm not a VTuber person, but my God, if the personality makes it, I could put up with it.
Can I say this? Can I say this?
Sure.
This one thing that was good. Thank you so much for showing that, Bree. But if anybody wants a good laugh, being originally from the Midwest, living in my childhood home, my next door neighbor during the summer months would have WGN on, and we would be watching either the Cubs or White Sox, whichever was there. And the best seventh inning stretch you will ever hear in your life was a celebrity appearance of Mike Ditka at Wrigley Field.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
That is all, just say Mike Ditka seventh inning stretch.
What if the name of the hurricane was Hurricane Ditka?
Yes. Yes.
The Bears.
The build-up,
Oh,
the build-up to him singing. Just watch it. Take my word for it. The entire
I know what you're talking about. But yeah, no, they did like a whole HoloLive night at Dodger Stadium, and they were
nice.
they were so unprepared. So anyway, the merchandise lines, apparently all they had was one tent, and it wrapped around the entire stadium for the merchandise line, with people waiting in line for like 2 hours for merch.
Oh wow.
damn. This reminds me of. We're going to go one last thing before we go on. My favorite band of all time is Thousand Foot Crutch. Helped me through a lot, and I've gotten to see the band multiple times, talk with the lead singer multiple times. Absolute just stand-up class individual that took more time out of his life for a little kid that he knew from Wisconsin, going through multiple concert circuits. I was going to see them a 10th time, which I'm pretty sure they're never performing again because, like, their drummer during COVID became, like, the most successful realtor in all of Canada. Like during COVID, so it's unreal, and like all of them have multiple kids now. But they were at the Marshfield Fair, which is like about 45 minutes from me, and we started getting Jumanji levels of torrential downpour coming through, and they didn't exactly have good covering, so they eventually ended up canceling the concert. And then some drunk idiot was screaming, going, "Woodstock would have played," and me without hesitation go, "That is a concert, not a band, dumbass. You're not paying for their equipment."
If you don't know,
guy, like,
if you don't know what you're talking about and you want to be a smart, the best advice I can give you is shut the up.
Yeah,
Bro.
I'll never understand people. You're drunk. You're not actually wanting to see this band if you're showing up drunk. You don't know a thing about them because you couldn't even name what the band was. Of just, what do you gain? Like, and it irritates me because that would have been the 10th time I got to see them live. And then now they're probably never performing ever again.
The value in the currency that is the Canadian dollar.
Yeah, it's unreal. But yeah. That is all we got for the podcast. So we're gonna let everyone tell you where they can all find each other, and then we're gonna head on out of here. Kiona, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Neoplasmic24, also on Threads and Instagram at Neoplasmic81, also twitch.tv/Neoplasmic. Gonna start that back up again, and also on my best friend Red's Twitch streams on Monday, Thursday, and Friday, where I kind of am on voice with her.
And that is at twitch.tv/somebish named Red. That is BISH, not the other word. And renegadepopculture.com.
Yeah. Mike?
You guys can find me on various social media sites at Captain K42. You can check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/CoachK42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and that place at Ren Pop Culture. You can also find us here on YouTube, on Podchaser. Consider supporting our Patreon at patreon.com/Renegade Pop Culture. Listen to all of our podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. You can escape, so do we.
Absolutely. Tommy?
I'll end it with this one important question. In honor of animation. No. It's not what you think. In honor of Mike and his love for animation, why did the Mega Minion cross the road?
Banana?
You're heading in the right direction.
I have no idea.
To come to Sinopolis Luxury Cinemas to try our limited time only offering of a banana milkshake available exclusively in beating the summer heat. That's a hand spun milkshake made with roasted bananas and a brown sugar glaze topped with whipped cream and caramel sauce. It is absolutely fantastic. Also, be sure to check out our Mega Minions combo, which is perfect to include your favorite 20-ounce soft drink. And for only $2 more, you can get it as an icy as well. And we have our wine of the month is a wonderful, delicious Bottega Pinot Grigio, which you can get by the bottle for only $30 a piece. You'll love the refined floral notes and fruity aroma, perfect for a hot summer's day, available exclusively for a limited time. We are also offering a wonderful selection of seasonal favorites, including a spicy strawberry margarita, Tennessee lemonade, movie star martini, and a premier punch for our seasonal alcoholic beverage favorites. We also offer wine available by the bubbly, by the white, by the red, which also comes by the bottle in various formats. And if you're ever so lucky, we also offer Red Bull, which if you're ever so lucky, your can will feature the 3-time reigning, defending World Drivers Champion Max Verstappen and his teammate Sergio Perez of Oracle Red Bull Racing, one of the greatest teams in all of sports. And might I also point out our seasonal food specials, which include a tuna tartare, spinach and mushroom quesadilla, classic footlong hot dog, which I highly recommend getting it loaded, because if you've seen Bad Boys Ride or Die and you're on Team Marcus, you're going to want to get that footlong hot dog loaded. We also have a truffle mushroom special, chicken and waffles. Our signature pizza specials are to die for in any way you decide to order it, but we also comes in a buffalo chicken pizza. And we also have for some sweet treat favorites, our avocado brownie and a Nutella donut milkshake special, which even without the donut is absolutely fantastic. So be sure to check out our latest menu limited time offerings at Sinopolis, which also features this month every Wednesday night for only $5 a ticket. Our theme for this month is a tribute to one of the greatest directors who ever lived, Steven Spielberg. Take out exactly. With the exception of Barbie, this upcoming Wednesday night, our theme this month is a tribute to one of the greatest film directors of all time, Steven Spielberg. On the 17th, we'll be showcasing Jurassic Park. On the 24th, we'll be showcasing Saving Private Ryan. On the 31st, we'll be showcasing Jaws. So if you've never experienced either on the big screen before, at your local Sinopolis Luxury Cinema location for only $5 a ticket and a full menu to go along with it, you'll be able to experience a classic movie on the big screen and make new memories as you did in the past. Be sure to check out my work online, linktree/TheTMoney35. You can follow me on X, and X, the website formerly known as Twitter, at the T_Hughes35, Instagram at the T_Money35, my cooking Instagram at Cooking with T-Money, and be sure to check out my work on movies.mxdwn.com. Stay tuned. My work will return to the website sooner rather than later, and be sure to check out my Letterboxd reviews, letterboxd.com/TheTMoney35. And before I forget, be sure to listen to our Mike's and my wonderful podcast, Renegade Marquee, on the Renegade Pop Culture Network. We will be back sooner rather than later. No matter how hard you try, you can't stop us now.
There you go. All right. Very well done. Bree,
I'm very hungry after that promo.
Yes.
I know. I'm like kind of bad. Don't have a location near us. I'm like, shit. All right. Anyway, you can find me at Crazy Lemur because I am indeed so Julia. None of you are gonna understand that reference, and you know what? That's okay. It's fine. It's good. It's fine. Anyway, you can always hire me for freelance to fund my artistic art endeavors, if you will, and yeah.
All right. You can find me everywhere at Organoid Zero, mainly on Twitch and YouTube. If anyone is a fan of RWBY, Miss Kara Everly and Aaron Zek, I have their characters' autographed prints. I have Blake Upside Down, the Ice Queen and Bella Booty herself. I have their signed prints that I've gotten and wanting to give away on my Twitch stream at the end of this month. All you have to do is be a sub and be watching. This was, I think, grand total, I think I spent $80 for this. $5 to get something that for that value I think is pretty good. Just be watching at the time and be subbed, and that's all you need to get. Did I finish Stellar Blade? Yes, I did. So I will be playing through Deadpool now, and for the movie, and then I will be because Josh got me onto it finally. I will be playing
Alan Wake.
Alan Wake as the other one. I'll be making sure I get through Deadpool, but yeah, Stellar Blade is done. It'll be Alan Wake and Deadpool, and then probably another small game until Wukong comes out. But yeah, that's all I got. Until next time, we will see you all later.
Peace.
Bro.